and I'm coming off this long and winding road. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Tonight, I'm on my way. Tonight, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Too many romantic dreams. I'm on my way. On my way. Oh, sweet home. Tonight, I'm on my way. Just set me free. Free. Tonight, I'm on my way. Just set me free. Oh, sweet home.
Wake up, let's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up.
Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button before you leave. Remember, join my live stream. Subscribe today. We do lives 3-4 times a week, and you'll get all the information you need. Karen Reed, free Karen Reed, at Karen Reed. Peace and love. Can we all agree that this case been fuckery from the rip, from the jump, from the start?
Certainly, it's not consistent with getting hit by the car. I mean, you can't deny the science and the physics as to what would have happened if he was struck by the vehicle.
Living in the streets, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. So they see my pain, so they name drop, dry snitch. Fucked in the game, the glam and the glitz. What's the price on fame? This crazy life of ours. Yeah.
I'm running through the alley and in the alley. Hop at the second of sundown, no front from January on down to December. I'm loving the burst of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up, let's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks again.
It's not a prosecution, it's a persecution of Karen Reed. Yeah, it's. We remain hopeful.
Fuckery Donuts is now open.
I guess
How we
it
feeling,
is.
James?
Chilling, my man. Chilling.
Yes, yes, yes. You know how we do it. Tap that like button, tap that subscribe button. Talk to the people, James. How we feeling?
Feeling all right. Was getting ready to eat, but then I decided, let me hold what I'm doing. Let me stop my meal so I can check in with the beautiful people tonight. So I got my meal right here. So if I come in and out, that just means I'm taking a bite. That's all. But yeah,
Yes.
man.
We got
What's
this
up?
is the first of 50, $4.99. That's what it is. I really appreciate that. Kristen Lies is
Kirsten.
No, Kirsten. K-I-R.
Yeah,
Kirsten. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's different.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's different. Appreciate you, man. It's so nice. Yeah, you know, we got Hank acting up, huh? I mean, Hank
Hey,
said.
we saw Hank in action, huh?
Yeah, we seen Hank in action. Hank looked a little shook, no? He looked a little scared.
I think that's just Hank's personality. I think that's one of his quirks. Comes off like that. The guy represented Whitey Bulger. Listen, you know the stories that guy must have heard?
The question is, what would Whitey Bulger think about this situation?
Right? I don't know. Hank would know. He was close with him.
Hank, you watching, buddy? Hank Brennan, are you the swerve? Because you said that if you get the Lexus data off the Lexus, and if it's anything to favor Karen Reed, what if what you think's on there is not on there and it favors Karen Reed? What if you're wrong, Hank Brennan? Are you gonna dismiss and pull the plug? Is this the swerve?
I think so. I think that would absolutely happen. If he's wrong, shit, man. He doesn't want to look wrong in the case. He doesn't want to make it look more corrupt than it already looks. Oh?
Hank knows everything. What does Hank know? What does he know? What does he know that we don't know?
Hank knows
Turtle
everything.
Boy, Turtle Boy put a good tweet up last night.
Oh yeah, what do you say?
It was along the lines of everything we said, the luck that you got to have. You know, there was the 42 pieces of tail light they didn't find. 11 people left the house, never seen his body. For somebody that did this crime, damn, she got away with it. And why would she want to call Jen McCabe up and be like, hey, Jen, where's John at? If she knows she hit him and she left him there, why would she want to call him? You know what I mean? Why would she want to call them? You know what I mean? And she would have got away with it. They didn't see the 42 pieces of tail light. They didn't see him on the grass. The people across the street, the cop that lives across the street, directly across the street from where it happened, the ring camera wasn't even working. Oh, and by the way, Proctor didn't even try to go get that ring camera. And all the houses that lead up to One Metals Ave, they didn't get no footage from that. Wow.
They didn't sail off that area, man.
But she went back to the scene and said, I hit him.
Right. But I saw.
By the way, she called up her dad and conspired with her dad and all this other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Could that have happened? So if you hit somebody, I'll put it on you. I'll let you take the wheel. Here we go. If you hit somebody and you know you fucked them up and you know they might be laying in the snow, 18-degree weather, the blizzard's about to come. They ain't dressed up like me. They ain't got the red Christmas hat on. They ain't got the Under Armour stuff. They ain't bundled up. They only got a hoodie on. And you know you left them there, James. You know you left them there. Would you be that blacked out and not remember that you hit them? And would you wake up and make phone calls to get yourself caught? Could that happen? Could this be the reason why she did this? Could she be on something? Could she be mixing the liquor with some type of benzodiazepine? And the only reason why I stay benzodiazepine is
Because you
because
black out.
you black out. Take the wheel, James. Talk to the people.
Yeah, man, that's definitely possible. What you're saying. Let me just throw up the disclaimer: free Karen Reed all the way. You know, but mixing alcohol with the benzos is definitely blackout. So I mean, she forgot a lot, and that says a lot right there. Just forgetting that the man that was just sitting next to you, probably yelling at you, you forgot that he was in the car. You know, it's So yeah, it definitely raises questions.
Could you had hit somebody, right? And wake up in a blackout and wonder what happened? Was it a dream? Why would you want to get yourself caught? Could this happen? Does this make sense? Did the
No.
people in the chat see the Turtle Boy tweet? Did you see what he tweeted out? You know, he was just doing some common sense shit. You know, Jeff Williams in the chat, he's here saying Hank knows everything. Hank, hey, Jeff, what if he's wrong? I didn't see the boys shaking in their boots, Hank.
No.
I didn't see them putting a motion to not pull that gigabytes or whatever, the little
gigabytes or
the little
gigabit.
board that has all the technology on it. I didn't see them put up a fight. They just want their people there so they don't end up destroying it and breaking it because they got to saw the shit on.
So what was it? 3 boards in the Lex? Then they only tested one the last trial, Hank saying?
I think it's the same board.
No, I think there's 3 boards and 2 of them weren't tested. That's what Hank's saying. I'm pretty sure. That's what Hank's saying.
If he's wrong, but what I'm saying, Jeff, right? Honestly, if he's wrong, does he pull the plug? Jeff, that's my question. What if he's wrong? What happens if he's wrong?
Right.
Now, if he's right, we know what's going to happen, right? The case just goes on. We know the outcome of that.
Yeah.
We're going to fight that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're fighting it anyway, right? She's already charged up.
Alan Jackson got his beard.
Yeah, he's got the beard on. He's got his playoff beard going.
He's got his playoff beard. He knows.
But the question is, if he's wrong, does he pull the plug? And did Hank Brennan have to test that for his own mental health? Did he say, man, I got to test this one more time?
Right.
If this can help me out, this will make me feel like I need to pull the plug. Maybe he needs to see it for himself. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I think he definitely needs to see it for himself. He needs to take this whole case under. I mean, he's only got till April to take this whole case under advisory and come to.
You think April though? She didn't say April yet. She didn't say April
I'm
yet.
thinking she's.
You know why?
Knowing the court system, I think.
But you know why though?
Why?
Because January it's freezing outside. Less people outside.
Yeah, it's true.
April, man, it's hoodie weather, man.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Shit. J.F.K. making people think. That's a good point. And Canoni, she would do something like that. She would think something like that. Well, let me get him in January.
Right after Christmas. Right after the holidays.
Christmas, when their pockets is beat down. They can't help this woman out. Oh, man. That's a whole lot of shit right there.
Amy, IT professional. If you don't know the difference between bytes and bits, you should find a new career ASAP. Amy, what are you doing right now? Do you want to come up on this show right now? You don't have to show your face. You want to read the Gretchen Voss Boston article? I could send you the link. Would you want to read it? And we could stop you.
Come on up, Amy.
Have you read that yet? That article, James?
Which article are you talking about now?
The Boston Magazine article.
No. Can't lie, sit up here and lie and say I did.
These people out here with these trucks, man, these country boys, man, they all got these trucks all with the pipes, man. It's like, man, calm down, will you? Slow down, buddy. They're like this. They're tilted up. The trucks are like this out here. Look, the front tires are up in the air and they're driving like this.
Shit's doing sparks on the way out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, I didn't see the article, Jay. What's this article?
You didn't see that this is the main article that he's going for. See, Hank Brennan is trying to take you back to January 29th of 2022 that night. He don't care like what people say, what went down the line. He's trying to pull Scanlon out. He's trying to take you right to that night. And he's just focusing on that night.
As he should.
And that Gretchen Voss interview was September of 2023. So that was only not even a year later. It was what? So February, March, April, May, June, July. It was 7 months later, 6.5 months, 7 months later when the article came out. And she said some things in that article. Now, I could read it, but I wouldn't mind someone else coming up here. I asked Amy first, if there's anybody else in the chat that wants to come up and read this article,
Amy.
I could send you the article. You don't have to show your face. You can just put a little bubble. Like if you shut the camera off like this, if I stop my camera like this, I'd just be talking like that. So you don't have to show your face to read. So you don't have to show where you're at. As long as the noise in the background.
All you brave soldiers out there that want to give me shit every night, say, why is your head down? Well, I got a computer right here in front of me. I got a phone in this hand, phone right there. That's 3 devices. So yeah, your boy's on point. But it'd be nice for someone else to come up and read it. Where's Amy at?
Well,
she's quiet.
I didn't have a chance to hit up a couple of people to I had a few people in mind to read it. Let's get Joe Rogan on here. Right. Let's get him on here. That's right, Lisa Graham. Amy, Stacy's calling you. Debbie, Nicole Marie, so very sorry to hear the prayers and love to you. What happened, Nicole? What happened? I managed not to drink yet. That's not a plus. What's going on? And Amy's busy right now. Oh, okay, Jeff. That's fine. How long is it, Stacy? It's I don't know. It's like 3 pages, I would assume. Amy said give her a few. She's putting her son to bed at JFK.
Okay.
All right, fine. Yeah, so that article is very telling. And it's really not in the favor because she says there was beef with Colin in that article. Now, she also went on the news. I mean, she went on the WEEI, I think, in Boston. Did you see that when she had dinner with them people? And she said that there was no beef with Colin.
Right.
But in this article, 6 months later, she said there was beef with Colin.
Well, she's done this. Hank's going to call for a lot of stuff, man. He's going to, because all this stuff she said with the Dateline shit, you can't use it until after my trial's done. I mean, I don't know legally if they could, her trial's done, right?
I said, could I have hit him? Did I hit him?
They could use
How could
this.
that have been? I mean, you dropped him off at the house.
I don't know what else could have been. It was howling wind. I had YouTube blasting on the stereo, and I thought, did he somehow try to flag me down, which was the reaction I was hoping to garner as I slowly pulled away from the house. Did he come out and maybe trip or bend over to pick up his cell phone, and I ran over his foot, and then he passed out drunk? I mean, I didn't think I hit him, but could I have clipped him?
How could that have been? I mean, you dropped him off at the house.
I don't know what else could.
How could that have been? I mean, you dropped him off at the house.
I don't know what else could. It was howling wind. I had YouTube blasting on the stereo, and I thought, did he somehow try to flag me down, which was the reaction I was hoping to garner as I
slowly pulled away.
Hank's gonna say
from the house. Did he come out and maybe trip or bend over to pick up his cell phone, and I ran over his foot, and then he passed out drunk? I mean, I didn't think I hit him, but could I have clipped him? Could I have tagged him in the knee and incapacitated him? Could I have tagged him in the knee and incapacitated him?
Jay, Hank's gonna say, Miss Reed, so how did you know the wind was howling if you had YouTube blaring? You know, like, how did you hear the wind howling if YouTube was blaring in your speakers? Yeah, he's gonna trip her up with a lot of that.
She's not going on the stand. That's the whole reason.
No, I know, but
that's the whole reason why we speak on a new soundbite.
Yes.
We speak on a new soundbite because they're going after all the old sound bites. So you don't have to say nothing else. You don't. It's your right not to say nothing else and stand on. I mean, it doesn't vary too much. There's not that much variations, meaning it's kind of all the same shit. But that morning of the police report, she told she told allegedly she said that she didn't remember nothing, right? And
Right.
that's what she told Kerry Roberts too. She called Kerry and told Kerry, I don't remember nothing. And now she remembers. And in this interview, I think in the Boston interview, she said she didn't see him go in the house. I don't know, man.
I mean, I think there's definitely more shit that they did that's questionable opposed to what she did, obviously. With all the corruption that they did with this case, and
Like what? Like this? Fuckery donuts, baby?
She got him donuts. She got him donuts. I drove to 34th Fairview. And I saw her get out and brought him donuts. 6 donuts. Donuts. I've been doing it for years.
She likes to come by and bring like coffee and donuts.
I open my
she loves the ghost.
So there was a state of emergency, a blizzard, but Julie, it didn't matter to Julie.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
So Julie, my question is, do you have a garage, Julie?
She probably got a heated garage out there.
No, I heard she don't.
She don't?
That's what, dude. I'm not saying this for my health. I heard she doesn't live in a house. They live in like an apartment complex.
Oh shit!
It's a blizzard. She left the house at 8 in the morning. The car's outside.
There's like the way it was like that night. Your windshield could have 14 inches on one side and 7 on the other, like it was blowing. Your car was covered.
The point is, why would she wake up if his birthday's that day, the 29th? It's all day. So to be clear, little Brian A's birthday is the 29th. You got to ask yourself this question. If they're celebrating it on the 29th, that night, before the blizzard, because they know we're getting hit with this blizzard, it's all over the news. We're going to be, your plans are ruined.
Why not go there the night before and bring them?
Well, no. But they did go the night before you, not?
Oh, okay.
James, you smoking that shit again?
Yeah, well,
they went to the waterfall on the they went to the waterfall on the 28th, and it turned to the 29th. So they had the party over there for his birthday that night. He was supposed to come out. Little Brian A didn't come out because they figured his weekend was ruined. The question is, if you were celebrating his birthday, where's the cake? For one, did you buy a cake? It doesn't look like Big Bad Brian A misses any cakes, right? It doesn't look like. And where's the pictures? Where's the footage of that night? You guys don't have no footage of that night. You guys didn't have your phones out. Everybody got iPhone 13s, 14s. At that time, I think you had a 13 and 14. I think the 13.
Everyone's on social media.
Yeah, that was 2022. So the 12 and the 13 was out.
Right. And
Samsung joints out. Yep. Nobody got any footage of that night. No, because as soon as the shit went down, Big Bad Brian A came up from the dungeon and said, listen, party's over. Everybody got to go.
Yep.
No one looked out the window to see the snowstorm and didn't notice him coming up and didn't notice him in the driveway laying there. I mean, Karen Reed scored. If she did this shit, she scored.
She found the perfect place to do it, right?
I mean, shit, we should go over there right now and leave a couple of suckers we know laying over there.
Yo, we get away with it.
Of course, they won't see it.
They won't see shit.
No.
Nah, disclaimer, wouldn't do that. But no, that's crazy, man.
Laugh out loud. There was no cake and ice cream party. No, there wasn't nothing. I'm saying if it's his birthday and they plan this, they know it's a blizzard party somewhat, right? They know the weekend's ruined. Everything sucks. The roads is all, you know what I mean? After the snowstorm, it sucks. It's all slush. Then it gets cold. It turns to ice. You're sliding everywhere. Now, I'm pretty sure Canton and Stoughton, they do a good job at plowing. But when you start hitting the city, man, the city's trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to go nowhere.
Hell no.
So
if
that's
donuts,
the case, yeah.
The donuts can wait.
So she woke up and she was like, let me go get these 6 donuts. 6 donuts. But what type of donuts do you like? You got the 6 donuts. And she was, see, this is the problem with this. People say, JFK, James, why do you make fun of these people? Why do you make fun of them? How could you come at these people like that? You know, they didn't do anything wrong. You're wrong, JFK, for doing that. But if you look at how stupid this shit sounds, so you left in a blizzard. to
To
go
go
drop
get
off donuts in the car in the driveway, and you knew the car door was going to be open.
It don't make sense.
So now you got the stroke of luck. You know the car door is open, and you opened up the car door, which could have been piled with snow. So you opened up the car door that's filled with snow. Snow fell everywhere, probably fell into the car, and you were going to leave the donuts in the car at 8 in the morning. You were going to just leave the fucking donuts in 18-degree weather. They were going to be like bricks. And then you were leaving down the driveway. Okay, I'm leaving now. I did the drop. And as you were leaving down the driveway, hey, yo,
Right.
Julie, we got to talk. What big bad Brian, eh? We got to tell you something. She walks in the house. Oh, what do you have it? Higgins is there. Jen McCabe is there.
Oh,
Patty M on the back up there. Everybody's back.
I would have brought more donuts if I
didn't
knew.
know. I would have bought a couple of dozens.
Oh shit!
What happened? Why does everybody look so down?
What's going on, guys?
I would have brought some donuts to cheer you all up.
Shit, they had all of them there. I wonder who was working at Dunkin' Donuts that day. If they got in touch with that lady.
What happened? Oh, John's dead. What do you mean he's dead?
Right.
Wait, he was out. They found him outside. When? About fucking 45 minutes ago. Where did everybody go?
I know. Why isn't the house taped off? Why isn't the
Where did
scene
everybody
taped?
go? Because listen,
Listen.
Julie, the reason why, Julie, your car, and you didn't worry about snow being dusted off your car, Julie, because your car was already warmed up. Julie, you were out all night with Chris A. You was in the CVS parking lot. You were waiting for the call. And what happened was Karen made a mistake and called Jen McCabe. And when she called Jen McCabe said, let me hang up with you. Let me hang up with you, Julie. Excuse me, Karen. Let me hang up with you.
We got someone else in a trap.
She hung up with Karen, and she told somewhat of the truth. She told Karen she was going to call Julie. And she did call Julie. 100% called Julie. Julie, stand down. Stand down.
Stand down.
Stand down, Julie. Julie stood down. But Julie was going to be the one to discover the body. See, that stupid fucking lie about the donuts was going to be because they had a window of opportunity.
Who
At that
fuck's gonna
time,
eat frozen donuts, man. Like you said.
House full of blizzard, 6 donuts. I gotta know. I gotta know too.
I gotta know too. Who's gonna eat frozen donuts?
Well, here's
I
the
like
thing.
my donuts soft.
Here's the thing.
Fresh.
They weren't gonna leave them in the car. That was her. See, she fucked up at 4:55 a.m. when she made that phone call. When Jen McCabe made that phone call to Julie and said, "Hey, we got Karen on the hook. She don't remember nothing." When she talked to Proctor, she slipped up. Julie slipped up. And when they said, "When'd you find out about John's death?" Julie said, "Oh, I found out." She said, "I found out at 4:55 in the morning, 5 a.m. She said she found out. But she couldn't have found that out, right? Because the body wasn't found until 6 a.m. So she slipped up. So she had to cover her tracks. So she had to show up at 8 a.m. and act like that's how she found out. You know what I mean? And say, no, that's how I found out. I dropped the donuts off. She probably would have never said I was dropping donuts off and nothing like that at 8 a.m. if she didn't slip up in the police report and say that I figured it out at 5 a.m. when Jen called me asking where John was. He slipped up.
Yo, from the jump, like you say, man, this snake bitten. Good.
Nah, just loud people, man. I can't stand that shit. Go ahead, man.
I know. I caught Sean. I think it was last night. Was Sean on? I think so. It was last night or the night before. My nights turn into days because we go into the next day with these lives sometimes. But anyway, I caught Sean, and what caught my eye was how he said, shout out to Sean, how they didn't tape the area off right away. That shit wasn't taped off. Like nothing. That whole, like, First of all, it's a cop. They didn't have none of these lights. They didn't put no, they could have done so much more. And it's just right from the beginning, you saw where this case was going. Just from that, like action that they took, or caution, whatever you want to say, that they took was just wrong.
She
man.
left him at the waterfall.
And how do you respond?
I had just woken up. I was confused. I didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, what are you talking about? And then she, told me that they had gotten into a fight and she left him there. And
She got into a fight and she left him at the waterfall. Now, you could have told her right then and there. No, there's no way you left him at the waterfall.
Right?
There's no way you left him at the waterfall. I seen you pull up.
It's impossible.
I watched you. She was on the phone. Not only did you see me, I was talking to John on the phone while he was driving to the house.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me hang up with you real quick, right, Jen? Let me hang up with you. I got to hang up real quick, Karen. I'm going to call you back. I got to call Julie and see if he walked home with Chris.
now, where is he? And she was just...
Call 911, officer down, don't make a sound. There's an officer in the house.
Was that you?
Yes, that was.
911 call?
Yes, it was.
And what did you just say?
I said, I don't know. He got out of the car.
And this was at 6:03 in the morning, correct?
Correct.
In that 911 call, you said he got out of the car, didn't you?
I did, because Karen Reed had told me that she had left him there. Got into a fight and that she left him at the waterfall.
Wait a minute. That's not what you just said.
Carter.
That's not what you said, Jen. You said that he left him at the see, that's what it is, Jen. That's how you conspired this whole shit. That's how this went down, Jen. She called you up and said, I don't remember anything. And right when she said that, that's when you said, I got me a sucker on the line. The biggest problem Karen did was by picking up that phone call when you called her back.
She's
Keep in
still
mind,
using them.
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what's her name? Jen McCabe called Karen Reed back. And she said, and at that point, she talked to Julie, told Julie to stay in the Walgreens parking lot.
She did too.
Stand down. You don't got to come through and get the donuts in the morning. And that's how you're going to discover the body. But see, when she slipped up and said when Julie slipped up at 4:55 and told Proctor and the detectives that she found out at 5 a.m. that John was dead, she had to come up with a story. Oh, that's not when I found out. I found out when I was dropping the donuts off. That's the reason why I went there. I didn't go there to conspire and come up with this plan. I went there to drop off the donuts because it's a fucking ritual. J.F.K., why are you making fun of these people? It's me. It's Jeff Williams. Please, don't make fun of these people. It's me. It's Cleveland. Don't make fun of these people. They're good people. Why would you do that? I got no choice but to make fun of these people. The shit don't make any sense at all. I just played you a clip. Where does that make sense? So now Karen Reed told you Jen McCabe, she dropped him off there. He was there. Really? Take the wheel, Jez.
Nice. Nah, man. It's crazy. I mean, Jeff's in there every night, though. So Jeff came into this. I'll say one thing about Jeff. He came into this a non-believer, talking shit, all hella shit in the beginning. We let him stay, and he's here every single night. But he still believes Karen Reed's guilty, So that makes you wonder. It's like, but you still want to hear what we say. So, Jeff, do you go back and tell Plevlin this is what they said? This is what they did? We know Plevlin's probably watching. Hi, Plevlin. I mean, the back and forth is crazy, too. I don't like doing that.
That she had met with the victim at the C.F. McCarthy's bar in Canton at approximately 9 p.m. on the 29th, that he was there with several friends prior to her arrival. She stated the victim was consuming beer and she was drinking vodka sodas. She described the glassware she was drinking out of as a vase style. She stated she and the victim left C.F. McCarthy's and went to the waterfall. That she did not. She indicated to the troopers that she did not leave C.F. McCarthy's or enter the waterfall bar with a glass or drink. She stated that she and the victim were at the waterfall for approximately 1 hour. During that time, there were no altercations and no injuries, no cuts or abrasions that occurred with the victim. She indicated that they left the waterfall and were invited to the house on Fairview Road. She stated that she dropped the victim at the house on Fairview and went home since she was having stomach issues at the previous bar. She stated that she dropped the victim off. She made a 3-point turn in the street and left. Did not see the victim enter the house. Firefighter paramedic from the town of Canton indicated that she arrived on scene, to which the defendant then made several statements to her, indicating, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him," as well as the potential penalty the defendant faces on these charges. The Commonwealth is requesting that the court set a $50,000 cash bail with the conditions as outlined previously.
Thank you, Mr. Lally.
Thank you.
Mr. Yannetti.
Wow. What a day that was. Unreal.
Flight risk. Woman never had a crime in her life.
No.
But, you know, it's funny because everyone that thought Lally was going to be still in charge.
Five,
not.
maybe 5.
Say what?
Everyone that was saying to us, "Oh, Lally's still in charge." He's not in charge still. Lally's not still. He saw Lally sitting down. He was quiet while Hank was in charge and ran that whole show.
Years.
Okay.
If I was a road rage, and that's whatever it was. It looked to me like it was a fight.
Did they ask you to sign an affidavit or anything?
No. It was just a simple talk.
Okay.
It was just a simple conversation. It was only my opinion. That's all it was.
Okay.
My opinion. They had a different opinion. Not a different opinion. They believed there was something happened.
Oh.
Okay. As far as like a fight.
Okay.
Okay. And that was it. And then I left. That was it. We talked about my background, and how I knew Brian, how I knew other guys that we worked with, things like that. Very simple talk. And that was it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, I'll call you clowns. If I learn anything firsthand, you're going to know about it too.
Yeah, I'm just...
And I only say that because if it wasn't for you, the fucking story would have never made it.
Right.
It would have been dead.
Can I ask you, how did you know Colin Albert was in the house?
Who?
How did you know Colin Albert was in the house?
Who? Probably through you. I don't even know Colin Albert.
No, but did you tell the attorneys that Colin Albert was in the house when you met with him?
Did I what?
Did you tell the attorneys that, or David Yannetti or whoever, when you didn't mention the name Colin Albert to them?
I didn't even know Colin Albert.
Okay.
You didn't know Colin Albert, huh? You didn't say nothing about that? See, now he's flipping it. See, I know we talked about this last episode, but this is crazy because this is what Hank Brennan's going after. He's going back after the Lexus computer shit, right? Figuring out what if that happened. Then he's going after the Boston magazine, right? What's up with Amy? She gonna read that or no? If not, it's okay. We could do it another show. Then
James, Amy needs a link.
Amy needs a link. Send her the link. It's the same link I sent you. Send it to her. Tell her that she got that. Let me send you the Gretchen.
I'll send it to her on Messenger.
Yeah, but I'm gonna send you the Gretchen. What do you call it? Voss interview. We got Amy from Boston about to join us.
Nice.
She's gonna be our little storyteller tonight.
Give you guys a break from us.
I'm gonna send you this link to the article you could show her. Oh, that ain't the link though. That wasn't a link. What's up with that? I thought that was a link.
Man, so this.
I might have to Google the link and get it. I thought that was the link to the story. It isn't. Let me Google it.
I say he couldn't send.
Yes, sir. All right, I just sent you the link. You could send that to her. Yeah, but this guy, $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, good citizen. I appreciate it. You are a great citizen. You know that? You're a great citizen. You really are.
What's up with Amy, man? Can't get her on Messenger, so I gotta send it to her.
Send it to her, whatever, how you got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me do this real quick, too.
Actually, the only way I can send it is through Messenger because I'm using this phone. For some reason I can't get Amy. Try to send me a link on Messenger, please. It says failed to send to you. I can't send you a message.
On what?
On Messenger, Facebook. Messenger. It's saying this person is unavailable or something.
Now, let me ask you, let's talk to you, Hank, for a second. You know, Hank, how did you go from this guy right here? This guy right here.
On TV, and they can actually look at the detail and the evidence that that's why we rely on our government to do that, and also for the public.
You eviscerated Stephen the Rifleman Fleming in cross-examination. No. And as a result of that, you could say that you were actually responsible for the no finding in the murder of Deborah Davis, even though everybody knows he was there. He was there. He was behind it. He, for one reason or another, wanted her dead. And yet, as I said, the family is still saying, well, you know, they want to go further with this. They want to take it to a state court, but they're fine with that.
Thank you,
Well,
Sherry.
I take issue with the suggestion that he was there, and I take issue with the fact that you suggest that they wanted him dead. Her dead, I'm sorry. The only person who's ever said that is Stephen Fleming. Mm-hmm. And certainly when a person that vile decides to kill his girlfriend because she has decided she had an interest in somebody else, someone that vile with that type of reward isn't somebody who's reliable. So I absolutely suggest that's not accurate.
She should have the link now.
And quite the opposite. That being said, in protecting and defending James Bulger at trial, I think we demonstrated through the trial that we didn't pull any punches, even if it incriminated James Bulger. Jay Carney and I, at every step, try to bring out the most reliable information. There were many witnesses, which I asked about not only the Deborah Davis murder, but also how the FBI was complicit in covering up Stephen Fleming's misconduct by trying to hide the conversations and interviews with Olga Davis and Mickey Davis. So that was a concerted effort throughout the trial. And sometimes public and people, victims like the Davis family, need somebody to stand up for them. And that's why we rely on prosecutors. That's why we rely on our government to do that. And when they fail and someone else is there to take the void, and we had an opportunity to do that, for us, that was very meaningful.
I realized the judge wouldn't allow testimony in that you all wanted, you and Jay Carney, which was that the government offered Whitey Bulger and Stephen Fleming and Stephen Weeks, to some extent, immunity from prosecution in order to turn evidence against La Cosa Nostra. But why not let your client testify? I know he said he wanted to in the beginning. Jay Carney said he would. Why not?
The arrangement that James Bulger had with the federal government was very different than the arrangement that Stephen Fleming had. James Bulger was never an informant for the federal government. He was never providing information, and I hope we
What? Hank, Whitey Bulger was never a rap buddy? And you're doing this to Karen Reed? What would Whitey think? James, what would Whitey think about this guy, man?
Well, that's scary now that I think about it. This dude saying that James that he wasn't a rat, he wasn't an informant, when we know damn well he was a rat and an informant. So it's like, Hank, are you a liar? Is that what you are, Hank? Or are you that naive do you believe that you believed Whitey Bulger? Which one is it? I mean, it's one or the other, Hank. That's why we call you Beetlejuice.
You're a zombie, Hank. You got to do the right thing, though. Say his name. Hank Brennan, Hank Brennan, Hank Brennan.
Are you coming up here or not?
Dispelled that through this trial. It's unfortunate that the general public doesn't see this type of trial on TV, and they can actually look at the detail and the evidence that we help show, because unfortunately it still then becomes a matter of rumor and innuendo.
What?
James Bulger not only was prepared to take the stand, he expected to take the stand from day one, and is what he wanted to do. There is a story, a sordid story, that extends well beyond the Boston FBI to the Department of Justice to the highest ranks. And James Bulger was prepared to tell that story. It is a loss for everybody, for the jury, for the victims' families, for the community, for the public, not to have him take the stand. I expected he would have been the most convincing witness, because he'd be the one witness who would not try to protect himself. I think that's reinforced.
So you heard what he just said there, right there, people?
Man.
You heard what he just said, James, right?
Yeah.
He said he wanted to get him on the stand so the victims and the families can hear the real stories and get some type of closure. And I always stated, is JFK cold? I'm really not cold, buddy. I'm not in Boston, so I'm not as cold as you if you're in Massachusetts. I'll tell you that.
It's cold there.
Yeah. We got Amy from Boston in the house. But before we put Amy on the stage and we bring her up here, I just want to leave you with this point of Hank Brennan. Hank Brennan said he wanted to put Whitey on the stand, even if it incriminated him, and so on and so forth, just to get the truth out. So the question is, if they do this Lexus stuff and it's wrong, and he still needs more answers, could he make a deal with the defense? Like, bring her on the stand. Let's hear her story. Let's get the truth out. And after we get the truth out and we put the pressure on the Alberts and the McCabe's, we could pull the plug, dismiss it against her, and go after the bad guys. Is that the swerve? I'm still standing on it, James.
It's something good to stand on. It's not like you're standing on some bullshit. I like that, man.
And
I like your beliefs.
Without further ado, we're bringing up Amy from Boston.
Amy.
She's in the chat. You guys know her, Amy from Boston. We know her as Amy from Boston. Let's go. Amy, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
Hey. Amy from Boston.
What's going on? So what about Hank Brennan? What did you guys think? Do you think that I have a feeling that like he doesn't know what side he's actually on?
That's what I still feel that. I feel like he's doing an investigation for himself somewhat. I feel like he's there investigating the case. But then again, I could be wrong. These DAs are sneaky, and but at the end of the day, if that stuff comes back wrong and all the stuff I just played right there and he wants the truth, maybe they can make a deal, get Karen on the stand and we can hear the truth. Or maybe Karen does a sound bite and they just use that sound bite. I don't know. But there's got to be more, because I think these sound bites and these articles that you're about to read. Did you get the link to this article?
I did, yeah.
So this article you're about to read right here, I think this is one of the reasons why he might think she might have did it. Because this is 6 months after it happened. This is before Turtle Boy. This is before it all went down. Well, this is right when Turtle Boy got involved. So this is early, though. This is early before we knew the facts. So, you want to start that off? You want to read it? Hello? Mic check to the gods.
Hello?
Maybe. Yeah, there you are.
I don't know. I can't. I'm on my phone and like, hold on one second.
That's all right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
How you feel about reading it, Amy?
Can you read that article for us or what?
Yeah, can you not hear me when I switch screens? Hold on.
No, we can hear you.
No, what do you mean when you switch screens?
I have to switch screens to read the article, and when I do that, it sounds like you guys can't hear me.
Maybe that's true. What, on the same phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to the different thing, yeah, the phone, you might not be able to pull it up.
Hold on. I'll figure it out.
If you can. If you can't, that's okay. We'll figure it out. It's life goes on. The life goes on.
Yes.
Yeah, so, there's only one way to start it off, right, James? I don't think we got 300 people in the room. Why don't you talk to the people and tell them how we usually do it?
People, beautiful people in the chat, I'm glad you're here with us tonight. If you had one word to describe Karen Reed, what would that word be?
We only need one word, people. One word. This is your chat, people. One word to describe Karen Reed. Let's go.
Kick the cockpit door down. I am not the chosen one that you speak of. I am not. The only one.
Fuckery Donuts is now open.
Amy, how you doing? You still with us?
I think she's just figuring some things out.
I am. Just give me a moment.
It's all right. It's
Yeah,
fine. Take your time. No
Take your
pressure.
time.
And with that being said, right? Let's play this guy a little bit more. Hank Brennan, the man. What's up, Hanky baby? Beetlejuice.
First, by the approach Jay Carney and I took. But to have somebody take the stand just to give a confession, but not to give the entire story and protect the government, makes absolutely no sense. If the government had no fear of what James Bulger would say, there'd be no reason not to let him testify to his arrangement. If immunity was so absurd, then they simply could have dispelled it in front of the jury. So although the government continually suggests that they're disappointed he didn't testify, they try to silence him at every turn in this case. And it was an extraordinary loss because talk about the idea of closure. What better closure could you have than the person who could stand before the jury and the community and say exactly what happened?
This is what I'm talking about. Did we not hear what this guy's saying, James? This is crazy. This guy just said, what better closure? What better? I'm going to rewind that. You guys think I'm crazy when I said that he wanted Whitey to take the stand.
Yeah, he definitely wanted Whitey to take the stand.
Now, look what he says right here. Listen.
Not to let him testify to his arrangement. If immunity was so absurd, then they simply could have dispelled it in front of the jury. So although the government continually suggests that they're disappointed he didn't testify, they try to silence him at every turn in this case. And it was an extraordinary loss because
they try to silence him every turn in this case.
Every turn in this
case.
case.
Hank, what the fuck happened to you, buddy?
So this is my thing with Hank Brennan. How can he only be getting $75,000 for him and all of his paralegals that he has coming into this case when Lally is making twice that? There has to be more to the story of him coming in and taking this case on. Like there has to be something, like some incentive for him to come in and take over this case for such little money.
I think the way to take over this case is to investigate it, make sure 100% that she didn't do it. They're trying to find that out right now. And I think after what he just said about Whitey Bulger, he wanted him to get on the stand. Because at the end of the day, they're for the victims, right? There's still a victim family that's in the balance. So the victim's family's in the balance and they got to please them. This family, from that morning, how she acted and how rigid she was that morning, regardless, I wasn't there, but their perception is that she was rigid and she was hiding something, and they totally believe she's guilty. I mean, they were even aligning themselves up with scumbags. I mean, the people that are full of John. Go ahead, Amy.
The thing is with that is Jen McCabe, one of her first phone calls after John went to the hospital was to Peggy O'Keefe to give her the narrative that Karen is the one that did it. So regardless of like how everyone kind of grieves differently, she was in shock. She just saw the man that she loves dead. Jen McCabe was in Peggy's ear from. I have no problems with Peggy. I know there's like that whole thing with people like talking shit about his family, which I don't agree with. But Jen McCabe got into her ear and they're in the family really, really fast. And so I don't think they even had a time to think for themselves of what was really going on.
Indeed. And it worked because
And
they
it worked.
totally believe she's guilty. So now if that's the case, Hank Brennan got to make this right. So I think that's what you're seeing here. I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, if we're basing it on anything we have, right? I got a super chat here. Mistrial 499. Thank you, Mistrial. Appreciate it. If you listen to what he says right here, how could this be the same guy going after her neck?
Let's talk about the idea of closure. What better closure could you have than the person who could stand before the jury and the community and say exactly what happened? But fortunately, I don't think this is the last word. It's the end of this trial. But I don't think this is the last word. They simply could have dispelled it in front of the jury. So although the government continually suggests that they're disappointed he didn't testify, they try to silence him at every turn in this case. And it was an extraordinary loss because talk about the idea of closure. What better closure could you have than the person who could stand before the jury and the community and say exactly what happened? But fortunately, I don't think this is the last word. It's the end of this trial, but there's perhaps other trials and there's other.
So you was going hard for a new trial for him. You wanted to get a new trial for Whitey. So now this is this new trial for Karen Reed. You're saying silencing somebody that has the truth. Bring them on the stand. You're all about that. But we all know Karen's not going to get on the stand unless there's a deal on the side. So my thing is, like I always said, Amy and James, is that could they make, if they figure everything out, okay, nothing came back on the Lexus data. This is shady, that's shady. Okay. Now, I figured all that out. I investigated all that. Let's have her come up on a stand. And if she don't come up on a stand, then I'll use her sound bites against her. Because it's like I said, if she does a new sound bite and she says something new on why it switched from I didn't know anything that morning, I thought I dropped him off to the waterfall, to I seen him walk through the door, to could I clip him, hit his knee, ran over his foot, all the crazy things she said. If they use them sound bites and they play them sound bites, and they get them into the court. And if there's a battle between Cannoni or whatever, Cannoni's going to let him in, right? And that's just a bad look. So there's got to be something to combat that soundbite. So we know that she's not going to get on the stand, right? So why not make a new soundbite? So why not make a new soundbite and say something else and speak to these soundbites? If that makes any sense, I don't know. I'm just saying the day of court, because they're going all the way back to the 29th. And that's why I'm playing all this stuff. They're going back to that date.
It's what you taught me. I'm sorry. It's what you taught me a long time ago, and I still remember to this day. You said to me, when you got in this business, you have to have good PR. I think she invested her money in the wrong place. She should have invested it in someone with good PR to be able to say what she wanted to say so it could come out. You know what I'm saying? And that stuck with me because PR, that's everything, man. With your what does it get? Public
relations.
Public relations, yeah. The way you speak, the way you come off. So,
I mean, but that's the thing. Turtle Boy had a great tweet. Why would she do these videos and be this forthcoming if she was lying? Because it's like if you were lying and you were hiding something, you wouldn't be that like naive, would you? And that's what I asked you earlier in Replay Crew. If you just check it in, rewind the tape. I asked James this earlier. Could you be in a blackout and really be that messed up and really basically set yourself up to get caught? Because if she did it, which we all know she didn't, be clear, we all know she didn't do it. But if she did it, she got away with it, right? 11 people drove off. No one seen the body.
right?
I mean, that's just impossible within itself, though, too. Like, I've been to 34 in Fairview. The yard is so small. Like, there's no way that a 6'2" man could have been like overlooked. It's just impossible. Like, and if for all, maybe one person could have not seen them, but all of them? Come on.
11.
Come on.
People. And one
11
of them
people.
and one of them was an ATF agent. There's no way he's walking out of
Right.
there not having his eyeballs all over that place. You're walking out of another cop's house, knowing you lock people up, you set dudes up for numbers. You gave dudes football numbers.
Right. And Brian Albert didn't come out of his.
Go ahead, Amy. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying Brian Albert didn't come out of his house on purpose. Like, he knew that if he went out there, it would have been a lot worse for him. And there's no way that a man who is a Boston police officer for 30-something years didn't see the emergency vehicles, didn't hear Karen screaming. Like, we all heard her in the 911 call. She was screaming on the top of her lungs. And we all live in neighborhoods where, like, we all get concerned or we look out the window when we hear shit. Like, it was 5 a.m. It wasn't like it was 2 a.m. or whatever. Like, they would have woken up and the dog would have been barking. Like, without it, whether he attacked John or not, I feel like he did. The dog did, and now it's nowhere to be found because it's no longer with us. There's no way that dog would not have been barking with all of the ambulances and cops and people screaming. There's 0% chance in my mind that was.
Yeah, no,
that's possible.
Big Bad Brian A. You know what we think, Big Bad Brian A?
You're so full of shit.
That's what we think, Big Bad Brian A.
I have the article.
You got it?
I do.
You're so full of shit.
Fuckery Donuts is now open. We're gonna get into this article. We're gonna stop you in between some takes. I'll tell you to stop, and we can all speak on it. So go ahead, drop it.
Sounds good. Did a successful South Shore woman really kill her police officer boyfriend? Or as she claims, did a slew of dirty cops frame her? Inside a simmering tabloid drama dividing a tight-knit Massachusetts suburb. This is by Gretchen Voss. I just want to preface this by saying that she hates Turtle Boy and she is an anti-Karen Reed person who wrote this.
That's crazy. Now, this is what she said. She said this after this article?
She does not like Turtle Boy and she is anti-Karen Reed. And she's actually a person that they're trying to get information from because she was writing articles, but she is a known anti-Karen Reed person. Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. Snow had just started to fall as John O'Keefe and Karen Reed stepped into the Waterfall Bar and Grill on Washington Street, Canton's main drag. On Friday night in late January 2022, around 11 p.m., it was the couple's second stop of the night after visiting another popular local pub. O'Keefe, a burly, brown-haired Boston police officer, had been living in Canton since 2014, raising his niece and nephew after his sister died of a brain tumor and her husband succumbed to a heart attack 2 months later. The kids affectionately called their Funkle by his nickname, JJ. For the past 2 years, he had dated Reed, an equity analyst and adjunct professor at Bentley University who lived in Mansfield and spent much of her time at O'Keefe's helping with the kids. Inside the bar, O'Keefe spotted friends sitting at a high top near the band, and he and Reed walked over to join them. At the table sat O'Keefe's neighbor, Chris Albert, the town selectman, his brother, Brian Albert, also a Boston police officer who leads the fugitive apprehension team and was featured on TNT's Boston Finest. Brian's sister-in-law, J.F.K. All had been raised in Canton, a middle-class town of some 24,000 people located about 20 miles south of Boston, where families live and social calendars are often dictated by high school and weekend sports. That night, as a storm rolled into town, parents in the bar had a pretty good hunch that they'd all get a hall pass from their typical Saturday grind of shuttling kids to sports events. As the band played, the mood was festive and upbeat. O'Keefe downed beers while Reed drank vodka sodas, and lots of them. When the clock ticked to midnight, it was nearly last call. The night wasn't over, though. Brian Albert announced he was headed home and to have a beer with his son for his birthday and invited the group to join. O'Keefe wanted to keep the party going. Reed was tired, buzzed, and hungry. was less sure, but agreed to at least give him a ride over. On the way out, O'Keefe grabbed a half-full cocktail glass off the table, took a slug, and carried the rest of the drink out the door with him. The couple walked over to Keith Reed's black Lexus SUV, leaving foot tracks in the white, dusty snow, and climbed inside. Reed sat between the wheel, and O'Keefe plugged the address 32 Fairview into his Waz before they drove off. But wait, I thought that he had to call Jen McCabe for the address, didn't he?
Right. Now, here's the thing. So what happened was he allegedly texted her, right? So if he already knew the address, I mean, this is and that's something that's something the defense could go off of right there. That's something on our side.
Right. Okay, let me keep going. When they arrived at the Alberts home, O'Keefe stepped out of the car. Reed, though, decided to leave. Several hours later, around 4:30 a.m., Reed says she woke up alone in the same clothes from the evening before on the couch at O'Keefe's house. From a living room window, she could see the nor'easter bearing down hard. His niece was asleep upstairs, and the nephew was at a sleepover. But O'Keefe was nowhere to be found. Reed says she thought to call Jen McCabe to ask if she had seen O'Keefe. Reed didn't have her number, but knew that the O'Keefe's niece did, because they were close friends with McCabe's daughter. In panic, Reed woke her up and had her dial McCabe, who said that that John was nowhere to be found either. McCabe hung up and called Chris Albert's wife, Julie, who lived just a few doors down from O'Keefe, asked if he had passed out at their house. Meanwhile, Reed called O'Keefe's lifelong friend, Carrie Roberts, who also lives in Canton. Neither woman had seen or heard from O'Keefe. Where was he? Reed was wondering. Within an hour, Reed, McCabe, and Roberts met up at McCabe's house, and after returning briefly to O'Keefe's house, piled into Roberts' car to look for O'Keefe. In the back seat, Reed screamed about her boyfriend being missing as the women drove through the pre-dawn streets of Canton, snow swirling and dancing in the car headlights. On the dash, the temperature was 18 degrees Fahrenheit.
Woo. Poor John, man.
Right? As they approached the house where Reed last saw her boyfriend, she shouted that she spotted him and scrambled out of the car. It was pitch black outside, but on the left side of the property of 34 Fairview, she saw O'Keefe's body laying covered in snow. Reed raced toward him, dropped to her knees beside him, and frantically cleared the snow off his torso. Then she lifted both sides of her shirt to lay on top of him, trying to warm his ice-cold body. Roberts, who had ran over to O'Keefe's body, cleared the snow off his face and began giving her boyfriend mouth-to-mouth CPR while Roberts administered the chest compressions. Blood rained his nose and mouth, and his right eye was black and swollen. O'Keefe's baseball hat and one of his black Nike sneakers were missing. McCabe rushed over with blankets from the vehicle to warm O'Keefe and dialed 911 at 6:04 a.m. As they waited for the ambulance, Reed repeatedly cried out McCabe's and Robert's name over and over. Her boyfriend's blood smeared all over her face. As soon as the police arrived, followed by the ambulance that rushed O'Keefe to the Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton, doctors pronounced him dead at 7:50 a.m. Detectives began investigating, and within days, Reed was charged with manslaughter on suspicion of hitting O'Keefe with her Lexus. But that wasn't the end of the story. Far from it, actually. A year later, the court case would blow up on local news sites and become the focus of conspiracy theories that ignited protests, ruined reputations, ended friendships, and divided the community of Canton, shredding the social fabric of a tight-knit suburban town. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Do you mind?
No, not at all. For 3 days after finding O'Keefe dying in the snow, Reed lay curled up on her parents' couch in Dighton. Shocked and confused, what had happened to John? She asked herself. She missed him terribly. Reed says that she couldn't believe he was gone. She called her doctor and asked for medication to help her sleep.
Now, let me ask you this. Let me stop you right there, Amy. Amy,
yeah.
What type of medication do you think she was taking? If you was going to guess.
Like Xanax, or Klonopin or something like that. I would assume they gave her an anti-anxiety benzo.
Now you being from Massachusetts and being a woman, is that something they give out? No problem.
Not anymore. No.
Shit.
No.
Fuck.
I know. Back in the day, you could get it, but not
Damn,
now.
son, I'm trying to get me some, man.
Back in my heyday.
Damn. So you gotta have what? What you gotta be now? She fits the bill, right? You know, she goes through all these surgeries. She's missing her colon. She got a tumor in her head. Would this?
I mean, if one of us called our doctor and was like, "I just found the love of my life dead on someone's lawn," I'm sure that they would give you like a couple of days work to get through, right?
Yeah,
like
they probably
it'd
gave
be
it to her.
circumstantial.
Yeah, I think they would give her that on arrival.
Yeah, for
to calm
sure.
her down. Calm the
Haldol, something.
Now
Yeah.
that morning when she was so confused, and her father said, "Now people in the chat before you bug out, people in the chat, oh, that's an assumption with medication." Her father said that morning he thinks her daughter, when she said, "I want to kill myself," because when she found John, she was all distraught. He said he wanted to get a checkup from the neck up. You're gonna check yourself from the wreck yourself. He wanted to get a quick check because there was medication in her bag. Now, what type of medication do you think that was?
I mean, with all of her health conditions, and we don't know if she had psych conditions before all of this. This is the thing, like any one of us, if we found a loved one dead like that, we would all react. I'm assuming, for myself, I'll say myself, I would react similar, like you would be in a state of shock, needing something. She may have already had Klonopins. We don't know that if she had an anxiety issue and that was something that she was already dealt. I mean,
Now, what do
I
you
don't
know
think that's
about
something we'll ever know.
What do you think? What do you think you know? What do you think about benzodiazepine and alcohol?
Oh, it's deadly. I would black out back in the day. Yeah.
You would black out.
I would black out. Yeah. That's if I was to drink and take benzos, I'd act a fool.
Also, just to add, my friend, right? He just had a double lung transplant, and he's on like 20 different medications. This kid's got to take every single day, but he don't go out past like 8 o'clock. He don't go drink. He doesn't do anything. He can't. You know, his life has changed, and plus he got a second chance at life, so he changed his ways a little bit. But yeah. So she was probably on a lot of medication. She had her colon out. I'm sure she had to take something for that.
I mean, I've been sober for 8 years, and my doctors know that I had an addiction problem at one time, so they're not going to offer me things like benzos. But someone like Karen Reed, if she's not a known addict, that's something that they could offer her. Yeah,
they would give it to her probably right over the desk. She
absolutely.
wouldn't even have to go to the pharmacy.
Right. And they give her just enough to get by. You know what I mean? I mean, for me, they wouldn't do that, but for someone like her, they would.
Absolutely.
Let's get it going. Go ahead, Amy.
All right.
Everybody in the chat, throw your peace signs up for Amy. Amy from Boston, say peace to Amy, doing this for us tonight. She's reading the article from the Boston Magazine called, what is it titled again? I think it's titled, I got it right here. It's titled "The Killing That Tore a Town Apart."
Yeah.
And it came out September of 2023, 6 months right after this all went down. And this is what Hank Brennan is focusing on: the sound bites, the story, anything he could get to twist and turn. Now, like I said, does he want the truth? Does he want to get on the stand? Could this change the direction if he does something like that based on the video I just posted? I don't know. But he seems like he just wants the truth. I don't know. Go ahead, Amy. Take it away.
She also located an attorney, David Yannetti, online and retained his services. When the state police trooper Michael Proctor, a longtime Canton resident who was in charge of the criminal investigation, and his partner later came knocking, she answered their questions. The day she returned to her Mansfield home, Reed says that she was in her kitchen talking on the phone to her close friend who lived in Florida when she noticed a Chevy Silverado pickup truck parked in front of her house. Soon, she says, about 6 other vehicles appeared, and then nearly a dozen police officers emerged into her home. At 7:40 p.m., the officers handcuffed Reed and drove her to the Blue Hills State Police Barracks. Reed spent the night in jail until the morning when the officers took her to a holding cell inside the Stoughton courthouse. Reed says that she and Giannetti stood on opposite sides of the jail bars and reviewed the charging documents. The medical examiner had noted several body abrasions etched into O'Keefe's arm, 2 swollen black eyes, a small cut above his right eye, a cut to the left side of his nose, and approximately a 2-inch laceration to the back of his head, and multiple skull fractures that resulted in bleeding from the brain. His pancreas was dark red, indicating hypothermia, and contributed to his death. The rest of the information contained in the official reports are even harder for Reed to hear. According to a witness review, Reed had told McCabe she had last seen O'Keefe at the waterfall and that O'Keefe had gotten into a fight, and that she didn't remember dropping him off at the post-bar gathering at 34 Fairview. According to Roberts' account in the charging document, Reed was so drunk that night that she had told Roberts in the morning she didn't remember anything from the night before, though she had wondered if John O'Keefe was dead or got hit by a plow, and that Reed still seemed drunk in the morning. After Roberts, McCabe, and Reed found O'Keefe's body, Roberts told police Reed showed him her cracked right taillight, saying that she had no idea how it happened the night before. When an emergency responder asked Reed how O'Keefe had injured his face, the document stated that Reed said, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." In addition, she said that to an emergency responder. So, like, remember that McLaughlin girl, like one of the EMTs?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know it was in the charging document. I thought that came out later. But in addition, it stated
this is in the charging documents, right?
This is in the charging documents. Her original charging documents when she got sent to the police barracks, and then the next day she had to appear in court. So Unetti is going over this with her.
What up, Lisa Davy? Go ahead.
In addition, it stated that Canton police found broken cocktail glass and multiple patches of blood in the snow near where O'Keefe's body had been located in the morning. The Massachusetts Special Emergency Response Team, the CERT team, also found pieces of plastic, 2 red, 1 clear, in the same vicinity as the body. Items consistent with the broken taillight on Reed's Lexus. The document noted that officials seized the car and found that it had been broken glass embedded into the rear bumper, a deep scratch and a dent to the right side of the rear tailgate. 2 scratches plus some chips of paint on the right side of the rear bumper were gone. Considering the evidence, police and prosecutors concluded Reed was intoxicated when she backed up and struck her boyfriend, then drove off into the night. In the holding cell, no sooner had Reed and her attorney read the evidence being marshaled against her than a bailiff came for Reed. He led her wide-eyed and terrified, she says, into the Stoughton District Court, where O'Keefe's family and dozens of his friends and fellow Boston cops, included ununiformed BPD Superintendent-in-Chief Gregory Long, packed the courthouse. On the other side of the aisle, Reed's mother prayed as the judge arraigned her daughter on manslaughter charges. Then Reed entered her not guilty plea. Afterward, Unetti told reporters outside the courthouse that his client was in shock and that O'Keefe's death had been an innocent accident. Reed had no criminal intent, he said. She loved this man and is devastated.
Yep.
So wait, did he really say that it was an accident?
Yeah, he said this was an accident.
In the
He said
beginning.
this was an accident.
I never heard that.
At the bail hearing. He said that day, he said this was an accident. This is a terrible accident. She did the opposite. She got a lawyer. She confronted the issue. This is a tragic accident. But keep in mind, he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he doesn't know what to believe either, what's coming out of her mouth. She must have been talking a mile a minute.
Right.
Or was she?
I mean, he just met her. He's just trying to help her. He doesn't know.
But what I'm saying is, or was she? Because if she doesn't remember anything, because
she was lethargic.
Steve Scanlon is the one that hit right after she got arraigned on the 2nd. He hit her up that day. that night in the inbox, right? Or maybe the day before. I forget, but it was right in that pocket. He had hit her up, and she told Scanlon to hit up Yannetti.
Right. Yeah.
So sorry, guys. I swear these people out here in their cars, man. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is Scanlon's the one that jogged her memory and made it seem like, it was a fight. So what did she say in the holding cell? I don't know. I would assume that she was, obviously.
Belligerent.
Well, I would assume that these lawyers know the whole story. Like, you know what I mean? Like she told them about Higgins and she told them about
Bro,
I would only assume she told them the truth. And obviously they can't say it. You know what I mean? So what did he know? What did she say? And at that particular time in that moment, he's not really taking all that in. All he's trying to do is get her a
bill
and just take care of that later.
You know what I don't understand about this whole thing? Like, all right, if she hit him, Jeff Williams, where did his shoe and his hat go?
Why was the sneaker?
Nah, they got it. They got the shoe in the hat, bro.
It was
No, but why was the sneaker that they showed in trial a different shoe than that was on John O'Keefe's body? It had a different sole.
Nah, I don't know.
Yes, it did. It did. Go back. It had a different sole on it.
Who said that?
John. That's a fact. They pulled a sneaker out that was not the same match as the one that was on John O'Keefe's body.
I'm sure Jeff will know.
Didn't they pull the sneaker out in the trial?
They did, but it was a different sneaker than that was on John O'Keefe's body. John O'Keefe's soles of his sneakers were white, and they pulled out a sneaker with a black bottom.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yep, they did. It had a black sole, but the one on his foot was white. Yes, I swear. Go back and watch it.
They found
No,
his
I
hat
seen
and
a picture.
days later.
I seen a picture where they were saying that, but then when they pulled it out the bag, they pulled it out in trial. It had a white sole.
No, it did not. It was completely different than the one that was on John O'Keefe's foot.
Chat. People in the chat. Amy's dropping bombs tonight. She's saying that.
Listen, I know this. I know this case.
Saying she's right.
People are saying no. Some people are saying no. That was a shadow. Miss Ash
No,
saying Amy's
it had
right.
a completely different. It had a completely different sole.
Yeah, but
the show the fuck did.
It wasn't even his sneaker that they showed at the trial.
One was dirty. She's correct. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. So why aren't we talking about that then?
Yeah, why aren't we talking?
Let's talk about it. Why did they have? Why was the sneaker on John's foot have a white sole, same sneaker, and then the one that they pulled out of the evidence bag had a black sole to it because they thought that it was the same sneaker, but they didn't. They're sloppy.
So,
you know what I mean?
You're saying Proctor, right? So you're saying Proctor went in the evidence room, found a Nike size 10.5, and said, "Let me just throw this shoe in the evidence bag."
Honey, you can go back and look.
I'm just saying that. I mean, shit. I didn't.
I mean, would it really be like that far fetched with the way this case is going? Would it really be that far fetched that Proctor would have done that?
No,
I don't think so. I mean, that it was wild.
Something like that. That's why I said. That's why I just said what I said. But it's
Right.
crazy. I never heard that. That's wild.
Yeah. And like the pieces of glass that they supposedly found, and like what person says, no, we'll go back and just start like picking up pieces as the snow melts in January. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're still picking up on like they're not all making it to the evidence bags, and then they're taking all of like the evidence and laying it out at the Norfolk district attorney's office and just laying out evidence and leaving it there to quote unquote dry or whatever. Like the whole thing was handled like she should be. I am a full believer that Karen Reed is innocent. But even if she wasn't, the way the case was handled, it should be thrown out.
Yeah, reasonable doubt.
Oh, facts.
I mean,
like just the way it was handled, it should be thrown out and charges dismissed with prejudice. Like, even if she did do it, which I know she didn't. I mean, in my soul, I believe that she was innocent.
What did you guys think about Cannoni telling Alan Jackson, "You can take a red eye," when he told her he had something to do? And then she's like, "Well, you could take a red eye. You've taken them before." Like, what? He just told her he's got to take a red eye the day prior, before the date that they were trying to agree to. And then she says, well, court closes at 4. You could take a red eye. Alan Jackson, that was
She
crazy.
said, "What's up?"
Yeah,
She
it
said,
was
"What's up?"
rude.
Yeah, that's. Go ahead. You can keep going.
No, just saying, man. She shows
Amy,
it.
go ahead. Take
Oh,
it
yeah,
away.
yeah.
Oh, and I'm just she has it out for Alan Jackson because he's from California and she just wants to be done with this case, but she's like tied in so deep with like the Norfolk District Attorney's office and everyone's just trying to like save face at this point. And so she's like all done with him and she just the thing is too is like I will say that she could have been like, well, if you can't be here then just don't come. I'm gonna do it regardless. So she did give him like an option, like take a red eye or just don't be here. So she was I think trying to be like somewhat cordial with him, but she don't like him.
No,
She don't like him. No.
No. He actually gave me this hat, my uncle. He's a good guy, man.
You're saying it's black. I'm looking right at it right now. It's not black.
The shoe?
The shoe is white.
So whatever the one I'm looking, it was the opposite on John O'Keefe's foot. If you look at the evidence.
Hold on a second. I'm about to share it on the screen.
Whose liars, Jane? Who you calling liars?
God, there's always like 2 in the chat that just can't help themselves.
There's more than 2. There it is right there. Let me see. Yeah, that's got a white soul for sure. It's
Okay,
black.
but the one that John O'Keefe had on his foot is the opposite. Like, go see if you can find the evidence picture from the foot that they took a picture when he was at the hospital. It is the opposite of whatever that was. 100%. Like, I didn't make this
On
up.
the autopsy photo, you're saying?
Yeah, like the picture because they kept his one shoe on and they
Yeah,
took a
where his leg
picture
was
and
off.
the sole is different than what they pulled out of that bag.
Yeah, but that it was a weird picture or something. But this is the one that they showed in court, though, right here.
Yeah,
This
but
is the one they showed in court.
she's saying it's different from the one that he was wearing at the hospital.
100%.
The one at the hospital is on the autopsy report, if I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's a different. The one in the hospital is different.
The one that he's wearing in the
O'Keefe's sneaker
hospital.
he's wearing when they found him doesn't look like it. Looked like a new sneaker, so clean. It does look like a clean sneaker.
It looks like a brand new sneaker, and it had the one John O'Keefe is wearing in the autopsy photo. It has a black sole, and that one does not. And that looks
So wait a minute.
brand
So John
spanking new.
O'Keefe's shoe had a black sole.
Yeah, so I got it wrong. I flipped it.
But it was missing though.
No, but one was on his foot, and then they said that they found the other sneaker, which was the one they pulled out.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue with the article.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah. It wasn't long before a far more sinister theory of what happened began to emerge. On his drive home after the arraignment, Yannetti says he returned a phone call from a tipster who had previously called his office. A man with a gravelly voice who initially offered up a fake name picked up the phone and told Yannetti he recalls something to the effect of, "Your client's innocent. John was beaten up by Brian, Albert, and his nephew. They broke his nose, and when O'Keefe didn't come to, Brian and the federal agent dumped his body on the front lawn." An attorney for the man Yannetti identified as a tipster denies Yannetti's version. Yannetti didn't know what to think. Was it even plausible? He thought about the people at the after party that night. Brian Albert, the homeowner, was a prominent Boston cop. There was also a federal law enforcement officer at 34 Fairview that night, Brian Higgins, a special agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, with whom both O'Keefe and Reed were friendly. Yeah, they were friendly. Given the...
Wait, what'd you say? Hold on. You said what? They were what?
I said they were friendly.
How friendly were they?
They were friendly. They were real friendly.
So what are you saying now? You're saying who was friendly?
that Higgins was quote unquote friendly with Reed and O'Keefe.
Yeah, she admitted that.
They were
right?
quote unquote friends. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. She had her chance right there and then to say he had something to do with this, and she didn't. I mean, that's the shit that still always gets
Maybe
me
she
so
was
messed
like
up.
embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like she didn't want anyone to know.
But you're
Your
being
man
charged.
died.
Your
A
man
man
died,
died.
and you stood by him. You went to the bar, and you were staying with him, and you chose up, so to speak, at the bar.
Oh yeah.
You let him know that you ain't messing with him, right? So I mean, why not? Because this is what's coming. This is what's coming back to bite her. So,
Oh, absolutely.
so keep going. Is there more?
Okay. Yeah, there is more. Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me see. Okay. When Reed heard this, she says the news transported her back to a night during the spring of 2020 when O'Keefe's home security alarm went off and he bolted out of bed. She followed him down the stairs and said she remembered seeing Colin Albert and several teens in his front yard. Go fuck yourself, Reed remembered Colin yelling at O'Keefe. Get the fuck out of here, she recalled her boyfriend replied. The next morning, Reed says the couple awoke to a dozen empty Bud Light cans strewn about the bushes. The police were never called, but from then on, she says that they had bad blood between Colin and O'Keefe. In fact, she now adds Colin was the only person with whom O'Keefe ever had issues with.
Hold on, real quick. I saw somebody in the chat say, man, I wish I remembered his name. I think it was, anyway, he said that the reason they had a problem was because John O'Keefe thought that Colin was sold the coke that gave his brother-in-law the heart attack, allegedly.
Right, I heard that too.
So
I mean, now we're digging real fucking deep.
Well, from what I know, John actually went to, because supposedly Colin was selling like coke on his street and like using it as like to meet up with people. And I don't want to like spread rumors, but supposedly the brother-in-law had a heart attack from coke use. And Colin was tied into it. Yeah. And so there was bad blood. And actually, John went to Canton Police to file a report, and Chief Rafferty will not let anyone FOIA the report because it's locked and it's part of an ongoing investigation. So she uses that as like, no, you can't see the report that John put on Colin.
Mm.
So I think that there was like a lot of layers here, you know, whether it's true or not. I mean,
but she said on the WEEI when she went to lunch with him or whatever, she said that there was never a problem with Colin.
Right.
But these are all the inconsistencies. That's why it's like either tell the truth or stop fucking talking, right? Because people.
Go ahead, keep it going.
Am I wrong? Like it's just like because you guys talk about inconsistencies with her all the time, and it's like memories are weird.
Yeah, memories are weird, but she went on this Boston thing and said that we need to stop thinking that Colin going after this kid Colin. He said this to the people at she went out to she had dinner with them or something, right? You seen that? The WEI, the radio station?
Yeah.
In Boston?
Yeah.
And she said it's just more conspiracy. People are just going crazy with it. But yet, 6 months later, this was 6 months later, right? It happened in January. So February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So what? 6 months, right?
That's
7
where
months.
the PR comes
right?
in.
So I'm just saying this is 7 months. This is 200 days, right? You know, so like something like that. And of this
Still
happening.
fresh. Still
fresh. And she's saying Colin, and now she's saying, oh, wait a minute, he had a problem with Colin. But then she says 3 years later, you know what I mean, this summer, she said, nah, there was no problem with Colin. So this is what Hank Brennan, this is the reason why he might want this story. Because that dinner interview, he might have that in his back pocket, and we don't know. He might have them coming in. You went to dinner with Karen Reed, didn't you? What did she say about Colin? Oh, she said there was no fucking issue. Well, Gretchen, what'd she tell you? She said there was an issue. She made the whole shit up. She's a fucking liar. Lock her up.
Well, memories don't get better as time goes on. So, like, I would assume that the ones she did, like, closer to when the incident happened would be more of a fresh
Well,
memory because
who says that memories don't get better as time
What happened
goes
to the
on?
big mob lawyer? First day of school, he's unprepared. Yeah. Latina. Thank you, Latina. Appreciate it. Go ahead. Let's keep it going. Let's wrap this up. I know it's getting close. Go ahead.
do you want me to keep reading? There's like
keep going to that to the Colin thing. She goes into
okay.
it. So Scanlon jogged her memory.
Hold on
We
one
getting there.
second.
We
I don't
getting
know
there.
where. Sorry, I lost my place. We'll just go. Okay. After hearing that Colin Abbott had been present at 34 Fairview, Reed says another apparent clue in the case appeared when Reed and her father, William, met with Yannetti in his office. For the first time, Reed saw the police photos of John O'Keefe's body. She could barely draw a breath. She recalls waiting until taking the elevator back down to the lobby to break down in tears. It looked as though someone had beat the shit out of him, she says. As she and her father drove home on Route 93, Reed recalled her mother. Reed recalled her mother and described this bizarre injury on O'Keefe's arm. The mother suggested that it could have been from an animal. Reed called Beatty, who was John O'Keefe's friend that lived next to Brian Albert. Do the Alberts have a dog, she asked. Yes, he replied, a German Shepherd. Then 3 months later, Reed says the couple that Reed and O'Keefe had been close to came over to the Reed's house for dinner. They had just testified before the grand jury in the case, summoned along with others who appeared in Reed's call log that morning that O'Keefe died. Over Italian takeout at Reed's mahogany dining table next to the sideboard crowded with pictures of Reed and O'Keefe, one with the rosary draped across it. They told Reed that State Trooper Michael Proctor, a Canton resident, lead in detective on the case, had mentioned that he'd known members of the Albert family for years. To Reed, that sounded like a conflict of interest. When her guest left, she went upstairs to her bedroom, pulled out her laptop, propped herself up against pillows on an enormous white bed, and started reading through Proctor's publicly shared Facebook photos. That led to Proctor's sister's account, where Reed said she combed through about 13,000 photos. At 4 a.m., she found what she was looking for, a photo taken at Proctor's sister's wedding that showed young Colin Albert, the ring bearer. Then Reed found another photo of Proctor's parents and sister alongside members of Chris Albert's family.
Wow.
Reed was speechless. As she sat there on a bed, she says the dots in her mind began to connect, forming a theory of who had really killed John O'Keefe.
Really,
a theory that
Karen? Karen, you watching, Karen? They started connecting. Did it connect to you at all that night, the waterfall? Well, good old Higgins was throwing up his arms, and you were behind his back, Johnny's back. You didn't think about him at all? Come on.
Yeah,
this is the big
Higgins
problem.
should have been brought up, like, for sure. for sure.
Don't sleep on Hank either. People say, oh, he looks like a geek. He looks like this. Hank's there for all. He's all business. He's
I'm
there for the
being
truth.
Hank. I am Hank.
Yeah.
Right? What I'm saying is, this is what this whole shit's for. I didn't bring Amy up here to read this shit for nothing. This is what Hank is doing. Hank read this, and he's using
Hank read this.
He read this, and he's using this against her.
Lisa said, wow, what James disclaimer. I'm just saying, Hank, he's not.
No, but what I'm saying is, what we're trying to tell you is that there's so much. They're going to shrink this case down. It's playoff time. They're going to shorten the rotation. He's going to go off on what she said right when it went down. Not what evolved, not what she's going to say later, what she said right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to try to get the evidence to back up what she said. And what she didn't mention right here is Higgins. That's a big, big problem. When she got indicted 4 months later inside the garage, she said Colin Albert, Big Bad Brian A. She never mentioned Higgins again. But yet she texts Higgins at 11:45 a.m. saying John died. John died. What did you see, Karen? Did you see something? Because you got to ask yourself the question, murderers. These people are fucking murderers. You would think by now they wouldn't be able to live with themselves, right? You would think by now they'd be like, damn, we really killed this dude. And you would think by now they would have said something about it. They would have went to church. Something would have happened. It's going on 3 years. No, I'm just saying. You think they would have told somebody? Like, does it make me bad if I killed somebody? Like anything suspect. These people Ain't saying none of that. They don't even go on social media.
They're not even friends anymore.
They're not even fucking friends.
No.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying the whole family ain't breaking. McCabe ain't breaking. Matty M ain't breaking. This young ass dude, Colin Albert, you would think by now that he would have said something. So my thing is this, and Big Bad Brian A, and then all the Boston police that ain't showing up, they all know that she's innocent, right? They all got to know, because if they thought she was guilty, they would be at that courthouse outside. They would just be hanging outside. At least 4 or 5 of them. There's none. So the question is, why can they sleep at night?
The only people that go there to support Tulsi the O'Keeffes are the people that hate Turtle Boy. Like there's no real reason why they're there. They're like, oh, we're here to support the O'Keefe. No, they're not. No, in my opinion, they're there because they have something against Turtle Boy, and it's something to like hate and be opposing to him. I've never seen
fake love. That's that fake
absolutely.
love we talk about.
Yep, absolutely.
Go ahead. Keep it pushing, Amy.
Okay.
Amy for Boston.
Really, a theory that would prove her innocence. The way she saw it, the bad blood with Colin provided a motive for the fight inside the house that night. The Albert German shepherd also jumped in, which might explain those mysterious arm injuries. Then their partiers tossed O'Keefe outside to die in the snow. The tipster's information had already helped convince Reed that she was being framed, but she wondered who was pulling all the strings. Now Reed said she believed that she had the answer. It was Proctor. Meanwhile, far from coming to the conclusion that someone else killed O'Keefe, prosecutors doubled down on their belief that Reed was the killer. After the grand jury reviewed the prosecutor's evidence, it concluded that there was sufficient evidence to also charge her with second-degree murder, implying that she had intentionally killed John O'Keefe. On June 9th, Proctor himself, along with several other police officers, walked up to Reed's home and once again arrested her. Reed was now facing a potential life sentence in prison. After posting bail set at $100,000, she went home to take a long hot shower. This is getting real, she thought to herself. The stakes kept getting higher. She knew she needed bigger legal guns to help her. 2 months later, Reed sat at her laptop, fingers hovering over the keys.
She sat at her laptop and she looked right at her bank account too and said, I'm about to retain this motherfucker. You didn't hit Alan Jackson up before you didn't check your bank statement.
That's a fact. Oh, her fingers hovered over the keys.
Who am I gonna call?
Dad,
I'm calling Alan Jackson. I mean, come on. I'm looking at my bank statement to pay my insurance bill. Never mind paying Alan Jackson up in Cali.
Right?
Having them on
to fly on those red eyes.
Oh man, them red eyes, boy. That's gonna set you back $650. That's gonna set you back
$650. Them red eyes are pricey.
He ain't dropping. Listen, Alan Jackson ain't getting on the 737 Max. He ain't getting on that Boeing 737.
Maybe he can buy ditties.
Them motherfuckers are faulty. He ain't getting. He wants nothing but an Airbus or up. See you later.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
She wanted an eye-grabbing subject line for the email she was about to send Alan Jackson, a famous criminal defense lawyer in Los Angeles who once defended Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. Murder of a Boston cop, she typed out. It worked. Soon after Reed, her father, and Unetti all dialed into a conference call with Jackson, who had already received O'Keefe's autopsy over email. As Unetti summarized the case, Jackson interrupted. How the fuck are they saying he got these injuries? Between O'Keefe's swollen black eyes and the gashes on his arm, Reed's boyfriend appears...
Be clear. Alan Jackson cut Unetti off. Unetti was trying to be all poetic. Basically, what happened was lyrical, spiritual, and the dog barks and butterflies fly. There was 42 pieces that no one's seen. Unetti said, fuck all that. This is what these motherfuckers are saying?
We ain't got no quit.
You know what I mean? He cut him right off. He cut him right off and said, what the fuck happened? Go ahead.
All right. Between O'Keefe's swollen black eyes and the gashes on his arms, Reed's boyfriend appeared as though he had been beaten up before being attacked by a dog, not run over by a car. Reed's lawyers also realized that according to Proctor's original affidavit in February, 6 months earlier, the lead detective said he arrived at Reed's parents' house in Dighton at 4:30 p.m. and towed her car at 5:30. But the Reed security footage, as well as Dighton police report, showed that those times were wrong, that Karen's SUV was actually towed closer to 412. That's 78-minute discrepancy. Reed and her attorneys claim that they left Proctor that would have left Proctor alone in the car with plenty of time to break her taillight and plant pieces at 34 Fairview for the CERT team to find when they arrived at 5:45. Jackson officially joined the defense team and began looking for evidence that would back up their alternative theory and exonerate Reed. They found suspicious details such as Brian Albert getting rid of his dog and selling his house in wake of the O'Keefe's death. Still, it wasn't until early March that they found that they considered a bombshell in incriminating Google searches that Jen McCabe's phone that were on Jen McCabe's phone, which she had turned over to the prosecution voluntarily. According to the analysis, Jen McCabe appeared to have Googled Hoff's long to die in the cold at 2:27 a.m. 2:27 happened. That bitch did that. The night the O'Keefe was killed, that's hours before the three women found O'Keefe in the snow. The same search appeared again at 6:23 and again at 6:24 after McCabe says Reed asked her to search for it. Listen, I work in IT. I've worked in IT for almost 20 years. And Maddie, her husband, is also in IT and should have known that Celebrite is used by law enforcement because it's the gold standard. It does not make a mistake, okay? And anything you do on a phone, computer, anything, it never goes away. It always remembers, it can always be extracted. And so no matter what yuppies or weirdos they get up there on the stand to say that it didn't happen, that search happened at 2:27 a.m. Without a doubt. Anyway.
Talk to him, Amy.
On April 12th of this year, Jackson submitted a 92-page affidavit to the court, laying out the defense team's theory in detail. Reed's attorney knew it would help their efforts if someone in the media started paying attention to their version of events, that there was more than meets the eye to this case. 5 days later, their wish came true after multiple news tipsters told him to investigate the O'Keefe's murder. Aidan Carney, a blogger who goes by the name of Turtle Boy, sat down in his Holden home, surrounded by his young kids' plastic toys and board games, and read through the case filings. Both Carney and Reed's defense teams say that they never been in contact with one another. Carney, the controversial figure behind Turtle Boy Daily News, formerly Turtle Boy Sports, said he knew immediately that this was the kind of story his devoted followers would love. Carney worked on his piece throughout the night, finishing at 3 a.m. and posted it under the headline, Canton Cover-Up Part 1. Corrupt state trooper helps Boston cop cover up murder of fellow officer. Framed innocent girlfriend.
Hold on a second, Amy. We got 386 people in the chat. I need you guys to go subscribe right now to James Jackson. James Jackson.
Check it out.
Right, subscribe. Amy, you got a channel, right? Why don't you guys subscribe to Amy Boston? Yes. Beautiful Amy from Boston. Look at her. So pretty, so elegant. Let's get it going.
Tell them that you'll be on Miss Shorty.
Oh, yeah, I will be on Miss Shorty tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We're going to go over the Nagel's testimony for the first trial.
Perfect.
So you guys can come over there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there. Go ahead. Let's get it popped. Let's go.
All right. Carney's story laid out the theory that Reed's lawyers had presented to the court, alleging that McCabe had planted the idea in Reed's head that she might have accidentally run over O'Keefe. That implied that Proctor had planted pieces of her taillight at the scene. Karen Reed is a completely innocent woman, wrongfully charged by corrupt cops who want to see her rot in prison in order to cover up a murder of a fellow officer, Brian Albert. Carney suspected that as soon as he published his article that it would blow up online. He was right. His website nearly crashed under the strain of the traffic. He says, meanwhile, back in Canton, the coverage was about to rip the town in half. The next day, news of the possible conspiracy sped like wildfire from the deli counter at Shaw's to the links at Brook Meadow Country Club. Before Carney's piece, there wasn't much talk about O'Keefe's death beyond those immediately involved. Suddenly, it was the topic, and residents started taking sides. In response, the town's police chief tried to ease tensions by releasing a press statement asking for patience. We have had the same sensational account. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have heard the same sensational accounts as well as our town folk. Unlike the defense attorneys, prosecutors, and police are ethically constrained to what can be said outside of the courtroom. We have nothing to say in the public. Carney had no such constraints. He continued to write about the case, one story after another, as his monthly pages views skyrocketed about 1.5 million. He says as many as 4 million. He began live streaming Canton cover-up stories twice a week on his YouTube channel and says that his viewership increased from 3,000 to 20,000 per episode. By the time Reed and her legal team arrived in court 2 weeks later, it was clear to Reed that the tide of public opinion had turned in her favor. A crowd had gathered outside the courthouse. One person shouted, "Go get him, Karen," while someone else chimed in with, "Stand tall, girls, stand tall." Jackson recalls Reed turned to her lawyers astounded. As the courtroom door closed behind them, the crowd applauded. Jackson rose and presented the defense's ulterior theory, which was essentially what Carney had posted. The witnesses in this case, those inside the house that night, had a hidden evidence of a gruesome events that transpired inside the home, leading to O'Keefe's death. Then their close friend in law enforcement, Michael Proctor, helped cover it up and frame O'Keefe's girlfriend. The prosecutors poked holes in the defense's theory and pushed back with their own evidence against Reed. Meanwhile, beyond the walls of the courthouse, the town residents were at war amongst themselves. At high school games, parents who once sat side by side cheering now avoided each other's gazes and went silent when someone who disagreed with their take on the case walked by. "My social group is really small right now because of this," says one woman who has been a Canton resident her whole life, asked to not be named for fear of repercussions in her neighborhood. "I only surround myself now with people that I trust." One woman was born and raised in Canton. "It's like bringing up Donald Trump at a dinner party. It could just explode. People don't know which side they're on, or if they do, because it's like politics. You don't want to deal with the fallout." At the same time, though, the fault lines often seem to take the same form as old grudges in town, where many families have lived for generations. "The problem with this town is that nobody fucking leaves," says one resident. "Most people in Canton are turning on each other because they don't like the Albert family. They're pissed at Chris Albert was elected into select board. They're jealous of Jen from high school, or whatever these stupid bullshit things are. These things are beefs from high school with these people." The actual students turned on one another also in the high school. "You have to pick one side or the other," says one father, who saw one of his daughters kicked out of her friends group, while the others became borderline suicidal because he believes Karen and her friends' parents don't. As the case wore on, Carney's role in the tabloid drama continued to expand. He became involved in a Facebook group called Justice for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed Mass Corruption, which has more than 21,000 members who use the space to dissect nuances of the evidence, pick on witnesses, and one-up each other with the comical insults. In response, people who were inside the home at 34 Fairview that night when John O'Keefe died, who Carney alleges are truly responsible for his death, and O'Keefe's family members and friends started their own private group, an admin of which the woman used to write for Carney until they fell out with each other several years ago. That's Crusty Panties. The two have been locked in a battle, suing each other in court ever since. Carney refers to himself as a journalist, yet he doesn't simply publish articles or videos to make his point. He also traveled to Canton and beyond, readers in tow, to directly confront people he says are responsible for O'Keefe's murder. One day, for instance, Carney attended McCabe's daughter's publicly held high school lacrosse game in Billerica while he filmed and live streamed the confrontation for his YouTube channel. "Do you think you could outsmart Karen Reed?" he asked McCabe as she sat with her oldest daughter and her friends trying to ignore him. "Are you worried what's gonna happen to your family when you go to jail?" His readers have gone even further, texting and sending McCabe Facebook messages telling her to kill herself. Do you want me to keep going? It's really
what is it? It gets into something about the family, right?
Yeah. O'Keefe's family, including his brother Paul and his mother Peg, who has lost 2 of 3 of her children, John and his sister, arguably received the most pointed vitriol. On his YouTube show, Carney said, with the O'Keefes, enough of the fucking pity party for these fucking people. And only good part about John not being alive is that he doesn't have to be around his useless maggot for a second more. Fuck you. Fuck your high horse. Burn in hell. Carney says he's offended that they believe that the state is prosecuting the right person and glad he's able to use this platform to shine a light on this case. The beauty of Turtle Boy is that I can do things in an unconventional manner that other journalists are restricted from doing. He says, I love being the center of attention and being theatrical and performing. This is what I was made to do.
We could stop right there. And I appreciate it, Amy. Yeah, so
Yeah, no problem.
Turtle Boy right there saying, like I talked about this before, the balancing act, right? He's looking down the barrel of the Commonwealth, something new to him. He doesn't know if he's thinking in his mind, what if it goes bad? I'm pretty sure he's paranoid, thinking that they can jump through his window any day, right? Because once you get cuffed and stuffed, and the way they went about getting him sneaky, he's still thinking they could be sneaking on him, right? I would assume that. So and then on top of that, he's got to be a dad and balance, the holidays and just being a dad doing real life shit. And then on top of that, just the words that he spoke, he's got to perform. He said it right there. I love to perform and be what did he say? What was the word? Theatrical?
Theatrical
And performing, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. So he got to stay into character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He likes doing it. And that's what you got to balance, right? And some people like him, some people don't. But this is what this is. You got to entertain, and that's what he's trying to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, shit is real.
I mean, at the end of the day, say what you want about Turtle Boy. He wasn't wrong about this.
No, he wasn't.
You don't have to like him.
And I'm not saying, I'm not debating that. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm just saying that the balance, back to what, I said on some of my other shows about the balancing act of social media, like with the Sean situation and just balancing this whole thing, balancing the comments, balancing all that, balancing to do your lives. You could get off the rails. But you got to stay focused on what's right. And obviously he's been right all the way along, and he's back to it. I seen his texts, his tweets, and it seems like he's going back down that, things he already said, but he's tripling, quadrupling down on it. Like, wait a minute, Karen can't be that. You know what I mean? Like, if she did this, you know what I mean? Think about it. Everything went in her favor that she got away with it, technically, and why would she want to get herself caught? So he's tripling down on it. Everybody at this point is just saying, because when Hank Brennan comes in, he's new blood, so to speak. Because Hank Brennan said that I don't know nothing about this case. I didn't even watch the trial. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think too, I mean, that might be good that he didn't watch the trial because he wants to go in with like untainted eyes. Like if you're watching the old one, you're going to have like preconceived notions of how the second one's going to turn out. So I'm not on board with everyone who's like, why didn't he watch the first trial? Like, good, let him come in with like a fresh perspective and not see what Lally fucked up.
He could skim through some of the trial. He doesn't have to watch the whole.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, he will for sure.
He will. And he's going to
skim
realize
through some of these clips.
Yeah,
right.
Well, he wants to stick to what was said.
Right.
Like her official statements, what she said months after. So now next, he's going to go to Dateline, and he's going to go to 2020. You know what I mean? And he's going to put all this together. And then he's going to read the Higgins text, and he's going to try to understand why didn't she ever mention that? Because that question is going to go through his mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, she ain't never mentioned this dude Higgins. You know what I mean? And then he's going to see the waterfall video of Higgins throwing his hands up.
Right.
And, this going on. So he's going to say to himself, how can I combat that? How can I combat that a fight didn't happen? Well, one way I could say is that Karen never mentioned it. So she was right there. She got in the car with him. She drove to Fairview. She would have knew if John was upset, right? So it's like that's one way to flip it. But I don't see him selling his soul like that. I don't see it. But then again, I don't know, It's wild. It's wild.
It is wild.
But Amy, if you got to leave, if you want to stick around, you can stick around. We here. But
no, I am going to go. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Amy from Boston. And throw your link up to your YouTube channel, please.
Yeah, Amy. People.
Oh, I don't have a channel. I don't have a channel. I'm just like really active in the community, and I go on other people's other people's channels. So thank you for having me.
Yes.
Absolutely. I appreciate
All
you,
right.
Amy.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Nice. Amy from Boston, ladies and gentlemen. So we got down to the that Boston article, you know what I mean? We got down to it, and it's
Yeah.
a pretty serious thing. And and I still gotta say that you know,
You're so full of shit.
they're all lying, James.
You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit.
Sure chat, people.
Sure chat.
Sure chat, people. How we doing? Make sure you go subscribe to James Jackson.
James Jackson, yes.
So let's let me show that shoe for a second. They're saying the shoe was black, right?
Yeah, let's see the shoe. The one that was on him at the hospital. I think that you could still see his leg or something was like
No,
off.
it's not in the hospital. This girl just showed it.
Oh, okay.
And they took this photo where they illuminated it from the opposite side.
Can you
I
see
believe
it?
they had crime scene lights, so I think they've now turned the headlight
Hold on a
off
second. Let me try to figure that out.
for some reason. I don't know why you wouldn't illuminate it from literally both sides at the same time. It doesn't make any sense,
see.
but here we are with the light on. Then they
Oh, okay. I saw that.
Oh, it's black on the
see
bottom.
what color it is down there because there's no light.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Here is the shoe
Yeah.
again. The light again is coming from.
No, it's white.
Yeah, but the
It's
bottom's
just,
black.
Yeah, but it's got like, it looks like, bro, that's not good. It looks like dirt or something on it. Mad snow. Because look at it again from the other angle.
It looks black on the bottom.
On the other
It
side.
does look black,
and there's
but
no light absorption
but the
on this
side,
so our eyes cannot perceive
bro,
what
you
color
know
it is
me
down
with
there
my
because
you
there's no
see
light to
the
perceive.
side
Here is the shoe again. The light
right
again
there,
is
how
coming
it's
from
white.
the bottom up here.
Yeah.
See this without
The
the light
rubber
on, with the light
around
on.
it is
Then they
white.
realized it was
The
foolish,
bottom
and they
wouldn't
took
be
this
black.
photo where they illuminated
The
it from the
sole is
opposite
all
side. I
one.
believe they had crime scene
It'd be
lights, so I
one
think
color.
they've now
But
turned
look
the
at it.
headlight
Look
off
at it's buried. They buried it in the
for some
snow.
reason.
Weird.
I don't
Yeah,
know
they
why you would
buried.
illuminate it
Well, they
from
did. They
literally both
stepped
sides at the
on
same
it. It
time.
went
It doesn't
like
make any
this.
sense. But
Mushed that
here we
shit
are.
in the
Anyway,
snow.
so we have the
A
bottom.
What did
couple
they do,
days later,
James? What did they do, James? Break
they
it down.
stepped on that shit. They
Break
mushed
that
it
shit
right.
down, James.
Yo, they did, man. That's what it looked like. It looked like they just mushed it into the snow, stepped on it, and that's how they found it, man. That's crazy.
So Hank Brennan, the same guy that
Thinks Whitey Bulger isn't a rat.
you don't think Whitey Bulge is a rat? And this is the type of stuff he says right here. This is Hank. This is Hank, ladies and gentlemen. This is the guy we're up against. Is he gonna sell his soul or what?
There's other opportunities for James Bulger to have his voice heard, and this would have been the perfect forum, but the government wanted to deny that, and they effectively did.
In the evidence file, there were informant cards issued to Brian Halloran, Stephen Flemmi, others, among them James Whitey Bulger. I think they just said James Bulger. If he wasn't an informant, why did he have a card?
James Bulger didn't fill out a card and put it in a file to represent himself. It's ironic that the government says that John Conley, who was involved in such complicity and conspiracy and criminal activity, and he cannot be believed, especially with all the detailed reports he gave. But then the reports that may suggest
Hank!
that James Bulger gave information
What the
you
fuck
should
is
believe.
going on? What happened
There are a
to you,
number of
buddy?
ways we try to demonstrate to this jury.
You should just clarify that because James Bulger was saying that.
Hank, buddy, pal, good friend. What would Whitey think, Hank? What would Whitey think of you right now? Whitey's rolling in his grave, Hank.
Shit.
He's rolling in his grave.
Whitey is heated. Looking down on you, Hank. He's heated. He can't
What they
believe
do with
this
that?
shit.
What they do with that shoe, James?
They mushed it.
Show me how.
Right into the snow, man. That's crazy.
They stepped on it, huh? And just pushed it down.
Pushed it down, man. Damn. Nah, it's crazy though. All joking aside, R.I.P. to Officer John O'Keefe. And you know, you go to my page and subscribe. I have a thing on my page where I have a bunch of videos, and they're under. I have a playlist, Free Karen Reed, and it's all videos: JFK's videos, Microdot's videos, Young Jerk's videos, whoever,
Oh, yeah?
whoever. Yeah, just I got a bunch of different videos in that page. So when you subscribe, you also can check out the content in there in that playlist. There's a bunch of different videos. Even guys from Vegas. I haven't seen them in a while.
No, I haven't seen them. Phone
Yeah.
lines are open, people. We're gonna go for a little bit, take a couple calls. Go ahead.
Yo, no crazy calls. Hey, listen, if anyone wants to cash app at James Amaral Jr., money sign James Amaral Jr., I'll tell you a funny story about JFK like he did with me the other night.
What you gonna say, man?
You got to cash app to find out.
Nah, man, you can't be doing that, bro. You trying to scheme on me, kid?
I'm just playing.
Call from
Anonymous.
Anonymous, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, JFK?
What's going on, pal? Go ahead,
What's
show
going
floor. I'm pretty sure you're gonna say Karen Reed, she's no good, and you're gonna go into and you say you're from Massachusetts, but you got a New York accent, so that doesn't make any sense to me. But go ahead, buddy.
Well, I was born in New York.
All right.
Die-hard Yankees fan.
All right. Well, too bad for you. That sucks. But go ahead, bro.
Hey, 27 World Championships, still on top.
Nah, I dig it. No hate here.
So, listen, Amy, I feel so sorry for her.
Why is that?
Why?
Because she's looking at everything with the rose-covered glasses. That's what she's seeing it through. That article is damaging, and y'all don't understand. Karen confessed on herself. It's all her words. Hank Brennan is going to shred her so bad. Not even her team is going to have a comeback for it. They'll try to say some dumb things, but the fact is...
So Hank Brennan thought Whitey Bulger wasn't a rat, and he should think Karen Reed's guilty. This guy goes against the government all day long, and he would think Karen is guilty. Why is that?
Listen, I understand the angle that you're trying to play, but when the bombshells come out as to what Karen said, there's no way to spin it. That woman clearly knows what she said in that article.
And what did she say? What did you get out of it?
What did she say? Oh no, I'm gonna wait till Amy finishes that one, because when Amy read the whole thing,
she did read
when
most
she
of it,
read
right?
there was more to it, but when she read the part about Yannetti saying it was an accident, she was shocked by it. Well, when she goes deeper into the article, she's gonna get even more shocked.
What did we miss? I read the article. What did I miss?
All right, so you read the article?
Yeah. What did I miss?
Okay, so what stuck out to you?
Right there.
So what stuck out to you? Because you say you read it.
What stuck out to me, man, is honestly the main thing that got me was the main thing with me is the Scanlon shit. And you know how Scanlon had to remind her what happened, right? That he got beat up, that she had no idea. Hey, it makes sense. The Colin stuff, because she went on a radio show on WEEI out here in Boston. And they said they went to dinner with her. She didn't go on the radio, excuse me. She went out to dinner with the DJs over there, and they went on the radio and said that she said Colin, there was no beef with Colin, but she clearly said it here. So the Scanlon thing stuck out to me, and
well, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be paramount over all that stuff.
Go ahead, hit me with it.
Is that she confessed, and like I said last week, she confessed that when she was interviewed by Proctor, she said that she did not see John go inside that house.
Yeah. That's obviously I mentioned that. Yeah, that was towards the end. Yeah, that's obviously that stuck out. She said that.
So let's break it down for her fans. She said that she did not see John go inside the house. So therefore, what everyone is thinking about these BS conspiracies, you can cross that out, because that one quote is going to give her problems, which also means it's everything on the outside. Okay, listen, and then not only that, when that stuff comes out, I can't wait to see the reaction, because this is Karen saying it herself.
Yeah, but you know that it's not going to do anything to the Karen Reed fan base, bro. It could come out tomorrow that she went on the run. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got her back, bro.
And that's the problem. See, now, and that's the problem, is that she confessed to not seeing John going inside that house, and
Thank
it's
you,
like
Alyssa.
they like it's gonna, when that comes out, they're gonna know the truth, but they want to keep this going. But the thing is, you cannot
All right,
overlook
so you want
that one comment.
Right, okay, she did say that, right? She allegedly said that. We like, and I'll go as far as saying that she probably, if we were going to put it on a scale, I would say most likely she said it, right?
It was a bail hearing.
You don't think that's gonna give her a problem, JFK?
Hold on a second.
Give it to me straight, buddy.
No.
Give it to me
Hold
straight.
on once, anonymous. Give me 1 second, because James, you can't hear James, and James can't hear you. So give me 1 second.
Oh,
James.
okay.
No, that wasn't said at the hearing. That was said in that article, but we stopped it before that.
Okay.
So at the end of the article, she said that she never seen him go in the house. I thought I got to all that already. So I stopped Amy because we had her up here, and she was.
Oh no, she was getting close. She was getting very close to it.
Close.
But there's more bombshells in there.
Yeah, more. There was more towards the end, but them in the main joints. The Colin thing, there's no beef. There was beef. That he never went in the house is the biggest one, and because it was 6 months later.
And don't forget what her father said, or what so when you take into account of what she said in that article, and with her father saying that she felt she
Anonymous,
stuck
I got a
something.
super chat here, and they're asking
Yes.
you what does he think about the FBI and the evidence of the SUV not hitting him. Someone asked you.
Okay, so now here's the thing with that video. Okay, now remember, when she told her father that she felt she struck something, Karen needed an alibi to come up with an explanation for the right taillight, and she did that on purpose, and that was her motive. Okay, that right taillight is so obvious, right? Listen, like I said, if you could pull into the garage, his garage, without ever touching his car, then you can do the same when it's time to leave. So it's her actions.
Think 11 people left there, right? And that small driveway. You see me play the video. You watch my show?
Here and there I watch your show, but the thing is, she left 34th Fairview after 12, after supposedly dropping him off.
All right,
and then she went home to go to sleep.
You're a New York dude, man. What part of New York you from, man? You from the boroughs?
Bronx.
You from the Bronx?
The Bronx.
All right. Well, damn, dude, you shouldn't be going against Karen Reed if you're from the Bronx, bro. God damn, bro. What the fuck? The Bronx, son? You from the gritty ass Bronx?
Listen. I'm giving you the dose of reality.
That's the worst part of NYC. Period.
Listen, I'm giving you the dose of reality that nobody is talking about.
No, you're giving me the dose of everybody's talking about it, bro. The Commonwealth.
No.
Listen, hold on.
Go ahead.
Listen. I'm on my show talking about it. I might not be saying it in the way you're putting it together, but I just broke down that whole story. I'm talking about it. I've been saying it for weeks. Them sound bites are ugly. They're ugly. No matter which one you want to point at, he wants to point at, and anybody wants to explain.
And
that's the direction. They're ugly. But here, hold on. You're gonna try to tell me 11. Now let's give Karen some credit now, right? And let figure this out a little bit. I got no problem with debating you. 11 people left that night and nobody seen him laying there. How's that possible? You seen the driveway, right? And I'll do you one better. If you're living in Massachusetts right now, right? And why don't you go grab yourself a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, kid, right? And drive down 34 Fairview and look at how small that lawn is. And tell me how 11 people didn't see him. I'm just asking you. How'd that happen?
Here's the thing, right? Here's what's even more suspicious is that when you look at how the scene looked with all that snow, John had so much snow dumped on top of him.
Nah.
When
We talking
hold on.
about at 12:30, bro. We talking about when she left.
No.
They left
I'm
at
talking,
1:00 and 1:30. But you got it. No, hold on. I'm gonna let you take it. But at that time, there wasn't no snow. At 1:00 and 1:30 a.m., when they all left, this dude left at 1:00, right? Higgins, that's what he said. I left at 1. At 1:30, Jen McCabe, Matty M, and 2 other people, 4 people left. And then after them, shortly after that, Brian Albert's daughter and and her boyfriend left. So that's 7 people who left, right? 7 people. I said 11. 7 people who left, and nobody seen him on that lawn.
I'm gonna tell you, to answer your question. I'm gonna tell you how they did not know.
No.
I'm
asking you, how didn't they see him? How didn't they see?
No, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna answer your question.
All right, go ahead, bro.
And this was testified in court. Jennifer McCabe said that John had a rule for his house that for anybody coming from the outside, you have to take off your footwear, and because he had a mud room. When they arrived to John's house, right, the 3 of them, both Jen and Carrie took off their footwear. Karen didn't.
Okay.
So if those 2 really knew that he was dead, they would.
Yeah, it's odd. But I mean, what are you gonna?
You're so full of shit.
At his house and took off their footwear, but Karen didn't. Okay, listen. There's so many stuff that was said.
Wait a minute.
But
You still didn't answer my question, though, bro. You totally
I
did
just
not
did.
answer. No, you
I just
didn't.
did.
I said,
I just
how
did.
did 7 people leave 34 Fairview? I'm giving you the chance to debate you, bro, and you giving me the taking off the shoe shit. Listen,
I wish
7
nobody
people
broke.
left. 7
Nobody
people
broke.
7 people left 34 Fairview and nobody seen his body on the lawn. It wasn't the size of Yankee Stadium, buddy.
You're trying. Listen. The fact
I'm
is
telling
that,
you.
Listen.
No, but
by
answer
her,
it. How didn't they see it?
You're insinuating that body was out there in plain view.
It was.
And I'm telling you when they
Listen,
drove
you living in
when they drove to the
Massachusetts.
house. Hold on. When they drove back to the house, 3 of them, they were saying, Karen was in the back seat going
That was
all
in the
crazy.
morning. That was at 6 a.m., my dude.
They didn't even know.
We talking
They
about
didn't
1
even know.
a.m. We talking about 1 a.m.
They didn't even know. They didn't know that body was there.
Bro.
And I'm telling you right now.
No.
She said.
Jen McCabe knew the body.
Jen knew he was there.
Okay.
Jen knew the body was getting put there, bro. That's why they went to One Meadows Ave, my dude.
And you want to listen? And you want what's even more shocking is that from the moment they were first interviewed by the investigators, all through the trial, none of their stories changed. Everything stayed the same.
Okay, so let me ask you this. A Boston police officer who's okay, so you still ain't got no answer how nobody seen him coming up when they all left. No one seen him. And then a first responder, listen, this ain't the Bronx, buddy. The Bronx, right, is a gutter place, unless you lived in New Rochelle and you're talking shit and you're really not from the Bronx. But anyway, right? So if you're really a Bronx dude, you know how sirens are and how the streets are. Let me tell you something about Canton, bro. That shit is like Long Island on steroids. It's quiet. There's no way this cop at 6 a.m. heard a Boston police officer, right? Heard all that noise in front of his house and didn't come out and didn't notice it and didn't come outside. He's a first responder. He didn't come outside to see what was going on. And then Jen McCabe went in the house, my dude, and said, John's dead outside. And he still didn't come outside. And then when they were all texting the next day, when they were all texting
I'm glad you mentioned that, JFK.
Okay. But hold on. Let me get my shit off a little bit because you get your shit off. And then on top of that, right, when they were all texting 3 days later, 4 days later, and the cops were back in front of their house, the team was back looking for shit, for taillight pieces. Maddie M on the backup was like, yo, they're still out in front of the house. Nobody on the group text. There's nothing on the group text that ever said poor John O'Keefe, man. This was their friend. Maddie knew this dude. Maddie knew John O'Keefe.
They
knew
took
that
their
he left.
shoes off.
Oh, they took their shoes off. They know this guy. They know him, and none of them ever said, poor John. I can't believe John died. How did this happen? How didn't we see him? No one's texting that. But instead they said,
Okay.
tell him that the guy never went in the house.
All right. I'm gonna say two things to you.
Come
First
on,
off,
bro.
the owner of the
That
house.
ain't
Listen,
suspicious?
the owner.
That ain't suspicious?
Hold on. The owner of the
Is
house.
that not suspicious? Yes or no?
I'm gonna answer your question.
No, but you got to answer me yes or no.
Listen, it
Answer
ain't
me
suspicious.
yes or no. Is this... All right, here's your answer. You got to go. Beat it. Anonymous. If you would give me your name and come up here and show your face, we could talk more. I'm not giving you that much light when you're... And listen, I mean that with all due respect, my dude. You seem like an all right cat, right? And you got some good points. But, dude, show your face. Don't be anonymous. You could come up here like Amy, come up here like James, and we can have this talk. And we could do it in a different way. We're not going to let you get the one up. Anonymous. You know what I mean? We're not doing that.
No.
Call from Lisa.
You're live with JFK and James. Who we talking with?
Hey.
Hey.
I just had to call in after that last caller because the way that Jen McCabe was distancing herself after having drinks with John, her friend that she, was so worried about that she freaked out because she was in shock and horror, right?
Damn, man. Hold on a second. This shit just went crazy. Let me shut that.
The dude keeps calling.
I'm sorry, I had to
it's
shut.
him.
Man, that dude. Hold on a
Anonymous
second.
calling back,
I'm so
bro.
sorry, Felicia. Call back. I'm sorry, man. You seen what just happened? That was annoying as hell. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry you guys had to just go through that.
I mean, man, that's how you're gonna get back and prove your point. Like, leave a comment. You're gonna sit there and ding, 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 ding.
Felicia, call back. I'm sorry. I think it was Felicia. I'm sorry. On the super chats, I think we had we got some new ones. We got Latina. Latina's been dropping some. Elisa Jet, I'm late, but you guys are killing it lately. Latina, when did Proctor testify to that? Bro, Karen was in a panic. Elisa Jet.
Call from Susan.
You're live with JFK. Hello?
You just hung up on her, I think.
She hung up.
Oh, she hung up.
I'm fucking everything up, Jay.
What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
I'm just sitting there.
Latina, trying to get them all up. All right. I'm sorry, Susan. Give it a call back. Sorry, people. I'm working here. I'm working over here, too. My man had to cross 2 lanes.
My man's working over here. He had to cross 2 lanes just to get that call. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit.
Fuckery Donuts is now open.
Absolutely.
Fuckery Donuts is now open. Gonna take a couple more phone calls, man. Thanks everybody for the super chats. You could cash at me at jfkshowoff, and you could cash at my man James at jamesamaral Jr. It's in the description. Check out the description. Replay crew, what's going on? We love you too. It's been a while. I haven't seen you. Glad you came back. Replay. Where you been? Next time, join us on the live.
Boomer love.
Boomer love. Where's our boomers at?
Yeah, where's the boomers at tonight?
Where's our boomers at?
No late
Man,
night.
this dude anonymous, man. He don't want to hear nothing. I'm like, hey, what about the lawn? He's like, forget the lawn, the shoes.
From Heather.
You're live with JFK and James. How we feeling? Who's this?
Hi, it's Heather.
Hey, Heather, what's up?
I just wanted to say I'm so glad that you got that anonymous
this guy off because he was pissing me the fuck off. I'm sorry for my language, but
Was he?
Yes, he was, because it's just like you're going against very clear facts that are here, and I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Right. I understand, Heather. It's okay.
Yeah.
Where you calling from?
Like I'm from Cambridge.
Oh, you from the bridge. The bridge.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you guys?
I'm from Lynn, Mass.
Oh, okay.
But I know about Cambridge. I know all about Cambridge. My boy Millie's is from Cambridge.
Oh yeah, I never met him. I grew up in like Dorchester, South Boston. But
Oh yeah, you was out there in
I just moved
Southie?
here a couple. Yeah.
Nice. Out there in Southie, kid? Beautiful. What do you feel about this guy, Hank Brennan? You think he's gonna do the right thing? You think he could turn and do the right thing, or what?
So Turtle Boy brought up a fun fact the other day when he was talking about him, about how like when he first got up, he asked Bev if he should stand at the podium or if it's okay to stand at like the prosecution table. And I thought that was kind of weird because like he's supposed to be like, like the new big dog in town.
Right.
And it was just very weird how he's not like owning the courtroom how he should.
Right.
And then there was something else that I wanted to bring up. I can't remember. It just slipped my mind. But yeah.
Heather Taylor, Webby's my boy too. I know Webby. I know Webby very, very well. I know all them cats.
Yeah,
Boy,
man. J.F.K. He introduced me to them guys. Millie's.
Oh, I remember what it was. So there was a interview with Hank Brennan. I honestly don't know when it was, but he had said something about the trial, the first trial, and he said that she can't have a fair trial because all the witnesses keep changing their stories. And it's just like, how are you accepting the money now to prosecute her?
I mean, that's the
And
thing.
it's
Like,
just-
we don't know. We don't know if there's a swerve somewhere,
Yeah.
And it could be. We're gonna see as it goes along. We're gonna see if he sells his soul, because if the Lexus stuff comes
I
back,
try to think outside of the box, and I'm like, maybe he's involved with the Fed somewhere, and maybe he's in there trying to figure out if Lowry's saying something, or if Bev is saying something to him on the inside, if Morrissey's saying something to him.
I mean, I
But
just
you
think
never
at the
know.
end of the day, I played the video how he wanted Whitey to get on the stand to clear things up, and I think he just to figure out, he said there ain't no more. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said there's no bigger closure than somebody getting on the stand, and I think if they could come to an agreement of Karen getting on the stand, and she does the right thing, she gets on the stand, and I mean the right thing as far as in his eyes, and paints this picture of what happened. And the fix is in, should I say. The fix would be in that if she does good, she puts the pressure on all these people, because that would shock the shit out of these people. If they found out that Karen was getting on the stand, going for gusto, they would be shook at this point. Like if that was news, like Karen said, I don't care, I'm getting on the stand, that would shake shit up. You know what I mean? Like they would have to
Yeah,
be scared.
absolutely.
Jen and
'Cause
all them
she's
would
not
be.
shy.
She's not shy. I'm just saying, like at that point, now you got to ask yourself the question, why would she get on the stand? You know what I'm saying? If she
Yeah.
was guilty, because they're going to use everything against her. And imagine if she could put into words and verbiage the whole, I seen the waterfall video and I was at the waterfall and the vibe, and then bring up the whole situation with Higgins and what she knows and how she could say it. That would scare everybody because she knows she's the only one that does. But listen, Heather, I'm going to take the next call. I appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too, sweetheart.
Call from
Anonymous rebuttal.
You're live with JFK, James Jackson on the replay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Who's this?
Jen.
Oh, this is Jen from Washington?
Yeah.
What's up, Jen?
What's up, Jen?
Who is that anonymous dude, man?
I don't know. He's anonymous. I have no
You
idea.
need to work him. You need to work him.
Dateline
What does he
ABC
not-
plus Amy just read won't come in. They tried the first trial. Latina said Dateline ABC plus the article in Boston Amy just read won't come in. They tried the first trial. I don't know. But here's the thing, Latina. There's potential jurors that might have seen that. That's my point also. Go ahead, Jen. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, Colin Albert. You know, you said earlier, like, you would expect, like, some of them would be talking and whatnot. What would you do for your kids?
What do you mean? I would take the charge then, right? You're saying, like, should he take the charge? Is that what you're getting at? Or not talk?
No. I'm saying I think that's why they're keeping their mouth shut, because I think Colin
He's a juvenile. Hey, listen, Colin and Chris A., your son was a juvenile when he did it. He still is juvenile. It's 21 in the state of Massachusetts. I don't even think he's 21 yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's straight.
Oh, wow.
He can't even get a life bid. He'll do like 15 years, bro. You'll
Take
be all
the-
right.
Wow.
Take the
You'll be
bid.
all right. You'll be all right.
We got
Yeah,
you.
no, I just think that's why they're keeping their mouth shut, is because they're protecting him.
Man, he's all right, man. He does a 15 piece. He'll be straight. That's what he wants anyway. He wants to be a tough guy.
Yes, he does.
You know, that's what he
Yeah.
wants. Some people want to do bids.
No, they do. It's
I'm
crazy.
not made to be a bitch.
Hey, good citizen, JFK. I just went shopping and I got my mug and my sweatshirt. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Enjoy that mug. You know what I mean? I hope you're going to be singing Christmas carols, Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You know, just chilling with your mug and your sweatshirt, feeling all comfortable and feeling the vibes as we roll into this holiday season. Free Karen Reed Fuckery Donuts is officially open in your household.
JFK, you know, it'd be nice, real quick, if they start taking pictures with the merch, and
All
then
right.
you could
You
start
take it
posting
easy.
some of the people.
Yeah, that too. Absolutely. Colin is a punk. You're right about that, Greg. What else, Jen? What else you want to talk about?
Oh, nothing much. Other than Anonymous, and he can't get over the I hit him, which she never said. And that article, yeah, you need to hit the you're so full of shit.
Right?
Because that article is so bad.
It is.
Anyway, hope you guys are having a good night.
Yeah, you too, Jen, and I always appreciate the calls. Thanks so much, sweetheart.
Right on. Peace.
All right, girl. Peace and
Thank you,
love.
Jen. Bye.
Jen out in Washington with the orcas. She's out there with the orcas.
The orcas, man.
Yeah, man.
They're not whales.
Oh, shit.
You're right. They're killer whales.
Yeah, they're killer whales, bro.
Oh, man.
Wild for the night, right?
Yo.
Hello?
What's going
Hello?
on, dude?
Who's this?
Is this J.F.K and James, dude?
Oh, man, yeah. Who's this?
I'm on the station. You come pick me up, dude. I'm cold out here, dude. It's freezing, dude.
Oh, man, bro.
Yeah, dude. I got the white bucket hat on, dude, and the red jacket, dude. Ain't nobody coming to see me, dude.
What?
Yeah, dude. Send them over, dude. I got that $25 Dunkin' card to hook you right up, dude. I got a Suboxone strip, dude, and a couple of clotter pins, dude. I'll trade you right up, dude. Yeah.
I don't want that shit, man. You got to chill out, man. What's wrong with you, bro? What? Hello?
Yeah, I told you, dude. Karen was my ex-girl, dude. She used to boost with me, dude. Yeah. We used to go boosting down Macy's downtown, dude. I used to get the polo jackets. I got one right now, dude, if you want one, dude.
Do you?
Yeah, dude, it's a plaid one. It's real Christmassy, dude. I'll give it to you for $3.50, dude. Yeah, I'm wearing it right now. I'm using it as a pillow, dude.
You're using it as a pillow?
Yeah, but I'll give it to you for $3.50, dude. Meet me down Malden Station, kid. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going nowhere near Malden Station.
I'm
Hello?
staying away.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, dude, what's up with Sean on the go, dude? He did a whole video about Turtle Boy last night, dude.
Yeah?
He was all crazy, dude. He was all nice, dude.
What?
He was kissing Turtle Boy's ass, dude. What's going on, kid? Yeah.
Yeah, Sean was kissing Turtle Boy's ass?
No. He
Oh,
hung up?
man. He hung up, bro.
Bro, it sounds like he's in the wind's howling. That's what it sounds like.
You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit.
Fuckery Donuts.
You're so
Someone
full
said,
of shit.
Nah, who is this dude, man? Is that Anonymous calling?
So we had Anonymous. We got this dude down there with the bucket hat, man. It's crazy. JFK, have you seen the levy letters? Nah, I haven't seen them. No. Lisa Davy. Yeah. Well, listen, man. We've been going for 2.5 hours. And with that being said, I think it's time to settle down and chill out and, do the right thing. What song should we take him out with tonight? Should we take him out with this one? Yeah. Before we take you guys out of here, let me take this up right here. JFK is in town. Hank is in town. Hank is in town. Clean the house of corruption, and some of this is going in. Hank is not going to empty to making too much money. Going empty. Karen Reed is not guilty, so Jen is getting ready to talk. I like the energy, bro.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I go by the name of JFK.
I go by the name of James Jackson.
And all the mothers out there, all you mothers out there. Hope you got another one coming in real quick before we get out of here. The anonymous call was spot on with his stuff. All right, buddy.
Okay, Heisenberg. You got the crystal meth?
All my mothers out there. Peace.
Peace
The song's
love.
for you. And we out.
No. Back in the days when I was younger. Yeah.
Turn me up in the headphones. Summertime vibes, you know what I mean?
He put it on my mama.
Where's my ladies at? All my mothers at? You know what I mean? Yeah. State to state, worldwide. Listen. We pilot through the struggle, above and beyond. It's a long fall from pride. What you standing on goes in plain sight. Get your landing strong. He fucked up to play because he ran it wrong. Underbelly of Boston, filled with racist rats. The sneak gets away, but it often traces back. They digging up the bodies, got DNA to match. Feds listening to your boss, he got life for rap. Damn. Seems the greed indeed, it was trolling you. Court closed wrinkle, they smelling like mildew. Old Spice in the air, old law holding you. It's in God's hands with a creed overview. Too many suckers pulling, not enough pushing. Feeling like Guru, driving Boston to Brooklyn. God's working overtime, devil is cooking. Got shot twice, survived, but the cancer took him. Damn. Back in the days when I was younger, Dad was never home, he put it on my mama. I was just a baby when I seen all the trauma. But on God, we gonna shine every summer. Back in the days when I was younger, Dad was never home, he put it on my mama. I was just a baby when I seen all the trauma. But on God, we gonna shine every summer. Come on.
Daddy wasn't around, mama held it down. How'd you raise us on your own and never let us see you frown? Superwoman, you a superhero in my eyes. Seen you sacrifice it all to make sure we had better lives. You an angel like you came down from the skies. That's on God, on God, on God. That's on God, on God.
And to all the ladies having babies on their own, I know it's kinda rough and you're feeling all alone. Feds picked up the case so far away from home. Try to stay focused, don't let your mind roam. It gets real, all the miles and abuse. We really in pain, you know we just smiled through. I grew up a good kid, got with a wild crew. Facing the truth, in denial, paying dues. And Dad never knew what he belonged to. A wild juvenile, grew up in reform school. All the trauma, what I write this song to. Make this song cry, but I'm a strong dude. I 129 with a brand new rag. I'm a dad myself, Papa got a brand new bag. Break the cycle, it's like I'm not even mad. You put it on my mama, I left it on a track. Back in the days when I was younger, Dad was never home, he put it on my mama. I was just a baby when I seen all the trauma. But on God, we gonna shine every summer. Back in the days when I was younger, Dad was never home, he put it on my mama. I was just a baby when I seen all the trauma. But on God, we gonna shine every summer.